He laughs in disbelief as a girl brags about stealing his prize, a lethal Class A mutant cockatrice. Lint was a fresh D-rank adventurer who'd already been crushed. To him, slaying this beast was an impossible dream. Trekking through fields, the boy hauls his pack and mutters he's strong, matching Karika's unwavering confidence. Lint's Chessa's apron always holds Kiruk, a former slime-turned-loyal fluffball who never leaves her side. Lint would be dead without Kai Ruka. Behind that simple exterior, Kai was a rock-solid ally who never wavered. Reaching the shore, a massive city looms ahead. Lint points and shouts, "The capital." Crossing the gates, the city explodes with life. Lint grins, his adventure starts now. Signs and shops blur in this educational district, packed with an endless flood of people. The streets are buzzing with merchants haggling for deals and massive horned beasts hauling heavy cargo. Ducking into a quiet alley, Lint spots two girls in revealing outfits. One confidently puffs smoke from a pipe. The girls beam at Lint. They're clearly non-human and from different races, but they sprint forward to tackle him with hugs. Blushing, he brushes it off and catches Kierik's weird stare. No time for that. The guild is his top priority now. The map says they've found it. Lint stops at the guild and shouts it looks incredible. The massive guild gate fills Lenta with hope. It's the guild's heart, and Kukuru flutters his wings in excitement. He enters the guild and hits a wall of noise. The first floor is a rowdy tavern, packed with adventurers swapping stories. Two men at a table spot Lint first. One hurls an insult and nudges his friend to look over. Lena and the monster turn heads. One man spots them and calls it, "She's a tamer." Lint drew stares as travelers whispered, mocking his hideous monster pet. Insults fly as the crowd shuns him. Lint sighs. This is the harsh reality of being a tamer. In this world, his job is a total disgrace. Treated no better than a janitor. Suddenly, a stranger blocks his path. A bearded brute blocks the road, banning tamers and barking at Lint to leave before he can even speak. Lint finally faced the bully, refusing to back down. He was here for work, and he was staying. He knew the score in a place like this. Laughing, the man points at Lenta, mocking that if he even steps inside the guild, their reputation is finished. The stranger warns Lint to leave before disaster hits. Lint stays silent, walking past with a quiet apology. Shocked and furious at being ignored, the adventurer snaps. He yells that Lint's asking for trouble and lunges with a punch. List noticed. Then a sudden shock hit the room, making one guy spill his drink. Kikuru ruthlessly torments the downed giant, while Lint warns talk big, and you'd better be ready to pay the price. Tamers were hated for using monsters for personal gain, leaving Lint at the bottom of the social ladder. Lint snaps, and Kikuru turns. The boy realizes the giant talks more than he acts. A guest suddenly shouts he's seen enough, ordering Lint to stop the show. Lint turns to find the scarred man waiting. Grinning, he praises Lint's talent, welcomes him to the capital, and waves off their misunderstanding for good. Linz drops the guy and marches to the bald adventurer's table. He grabs a seat, orders a beer, and asks if the tamer gets a drink too, earning a smirk from his new partner. The man toasted the young tamer's future, and Lint joined him, drinking to his friend's health. The man laughs, admitting there's nothing special there, but Lint looks around and spots something interesting. I spot a weird caged beast, asking the owner if it's a cockatrice. He reveals a same-rank adventurer beat him, sparking an uproar. Lenta wonders how the beast got here, only to learn it's a rank A monster. Rumors exploded. A same-rank adventurer tamed a cockatrice. Lint knew instantly it had to be her. He wordlessly flashed his cat ears, mocking his A-rank status. The bald man gaped at Lint. Did he really know this guy? Her name is Light, but locals love her as Lena. After a quick chat, Lint exits the guild. The man kept mentioning Baleen, and Lint finally realized the truth. The girl was a solo adventurer. Lint remembers the praise for Balena's godlike speed. She moves so fast, she's invisible, earning her the title, the Light. Lint knew he had to stay away. She was too powerful, and he couldn't handle the burden. Time to finish the job and get paid. Lint soon reaches the sewer entrance the guild admin mentioned. Lint felt a cold shiver from within. Lighting a torch in the crushing dark, he muttered, "Finish fast and get out." Advancing, the boy meets his first foes. Angry mole creatures block the path, baring their fangs and lunging into the attack. Lin must purge the sewer monsters now. If she fails, bigger predators will move in for good. Kairuk and Lento advance, but a sudden presence in the sewers sparks pure dread. A powerful monster is nearby. He couldn't stop thinking about this place. Once his task is done, he's exploring every inch. Time is tight, but missing this chance would be a crime. Lint pushes deeper into the corridors until he finally confronts the beast. He sensed the massive wolf queen. Her eyes flared, ready for battle. Lint knew instantly this Branca monster was the strongest of all. Stunned, he couldn't believe it was actually here. Lint saw the survivors in pain and couldn't leave them behind. He and Kierok stayed to defend them. Armed with a magic dagger and spell scroll, he faces a monster with insane defense. His first strike won to leave a scratch. He needs a magic artifact fast. The Wolf Queen snaps her jaws and lunges. Lint points and shouts a command. Kurayuk charges instantly to defend his master, the little demon diving straight into the attack. The beast tanks the Queen's blow, distracting her while Lint slips behind to charge his ultimate. He screams for Q, yup to jump. Lint aims, blasts the wolf with fire, and instantly pops items to guard every side. Boom! Lint celebrates as his fire strike lands perfectly, shredding the wolves who are weak to flames. Even that didn't kill her. The smoke clears, and the Wolf Queen instantly lunges at Lint. Lint froze in terror, certain he was dead until a massive strike slammed the she-wolf. He ducked to avoid the debris and blinding dust. Squinting, he heard a familiar voice. The girl had run into the Tamer again. Lint kneels before the Wolf Queen's slayer, naming her Belina of Light. She smirks, realizing the Tamer finally knows her true identity. She hands over the rare monster drop. Len inspects the loot. This thing is worth a fortune. Belina introduces Lint, showing proof he faced the monster without fear and fought back. Lin nervously credits Belina for the wolf kill. The boy tries to refuse the pricey gift, but Belina laughs it off as a simple souvenir. Belina notices Kurek's joy, leaning down to pet her favorite and praise his bravery in battle. She pets her animal at Lint's waist, giving him a lucky view. She turns to speak, but he's completely frozen. Her cold armor was a bold insult. The truth, Lin is obsessed with feminine beauty. Lint snaps, blaming others for his outburst, and making excuses since it's his first time meeting a Class A adventurer. Belina smiles at Lint's kindness and pivots back to his original idea. Result, Lint's heart raced. He couldn't read Belaine. She leaned in, tapped his chest, and told him to stop holding back. Wait, the prompt says. She pulls him into a tight embrace, but Len Grind needs to report the quest completion ASAP. Belina refuses to let him go alone. She's coming too. Lint's future was a blur. Returning to the city, the guild building finally loomed ahead. Task finished, Belina drags Lint along to a man who greets her with deep respect. They snag the best seats as the girl orders the entire menu to celebrate, but Lint immediately clocks the massive prices. Waiters serve a massive feast, filling the air with aromas that crank the celebration to the max. Linta stared at the lavish feast, stunned it was actually real. Belina smiled, telling him to eat his fill. Lynch takes a bite and instantly bursts into tears. He's never tasted anything this good, and the local flavors are just too much to handle. Belina laughed at the chaos, shocked to see someone eat and cry at once. She declared the real feast open, and Lint lunged for the food. As Lent devours the feast, Belina asks if he knows about the rare world of Tamers. Surprised and mouthful of spaghetti, the boy hears Lint deadpan. That nothing's special, he adds, he's only level D. Stroking her pet, Belina admits she knew from the start Kiryuk is just like her. Belina remembers Lince's warning, even evolved monsters can't hide their true form. Nobody knew the truth. Lint never tamed other monsters, so he couldn't confirm anything about Bellini. Belina leaps up, shouting she has a proposal that benefits them both. Lint stood baffled, eyeing the stranger, but Belina stepped in and pointed to herself. She wanted to be tamed. Mid-sentence, his chair flips. He slams down, and she leaps up, screaming his name. Belina laughs, asking if he's okay. Lint stands up, admitting the sudden request caught him off guard. Lint scoops up the spilled food, joking that she clearly hasn't conquered a monster on her own level yet. Lint starts to explain, but Belina cuts him off. She grabs his chin and whispers, they need a deal. Lint claims the present ignores humans, but Belina licks his cheek, teasing that he's just never tested it himself. Lint paused, wondering what drove Belina. Why did she crave being tamed? He had no clue. Belina licks his face again, chirping that it's more interesting this way. Lint recoils, warning her she's risking her freedom. Belina grins, dropping her hand and admitting she's down to play games with Lint sometimes. Lint blushes and turns away. But Belina pulls him into a tight hug, whispering that if he wants to tame her, he can repay her in kind. Dinner ends. The couple heads upstairs with a servant, and the moment the door opens, Belina shoves him onto the bed. Belina grins at Lint's confusion, licking him and mocking his awkwardness by joking he's never had a girlfriend. Belina flexes her secret techniques, eager to see if Lint has the endurance to survive her trials. Belina reached her limit, demanding instant submission. Lint knew this was no normal taming ritual. Belina watched Lint while shedding her armor, wondering what he'd decide to do next. Despair breaks Lint. He snaps and agrees to everything. Belina smiles, closing her eyes in anticipation. Hugging Lint, he says it's time to tame. Belina laughs, calling him surprisingly sincere. The Tamer's gift bonds master and demonic beast. Every time Belen triggers it, vivid visions flash through her mind. She's dying to know his thoughts. Trust demands honesty. Holding hands, Lin locks eyes and admits, he's not sure this will work. Lent mentions taming Kurajuk, but the girl mocks his inexperience, leaving him completely baffled. He shuts down Belana's jokes and declares it's time. She nods, she's been ready. Heads bow as Lint whispers the taming spell. He calmly asked for her support, ready to return the favor. They closed their eyes. Her big moment was finally here. Aina mocks his lack of experience. Blushing, he admits he has nothing else to offer. Wait, characteristic irony and huge gesture are flavor. Sack. He surrenders to her for the ritual, certain Belena's wanted this all along. Belines gripped his hand, mesmerized by the light as the tamer became the tamed, while Lint clarified he was only speaking hypothetically. She accepted instantly and leaned on him. Lint asked if she was sure, and Belena smiled. She loved this path. Lint couldn't see where their story was headed, but if Belena agrees, he's signing that contract instantly. She claims she's way stronger. Lint smiles, sensing her massive aura from a distance. Belena credits her taming for her power, bruising Lint's ego as she outclasses him. She just smiles and tells him to train harder. Lint knows how to tame the beast, but doubts it'll grant enough power. True taming requires pure trust. Belena notes this could even affect a dragon. Since Lend tamed an A-rank adventurer, she smiles. He might actually become a true dragon tamer. Lint's stunned. These don't exist yet. The man says only dragon riders remain, while Belena calls dragons nothing more than submissive pets. Lint's a legendary tamer. He even conquered her, proving his skill. Not everyone can handle an S-rank adventurer. Beliaina claims her power is finally peaking, but Len's convinced she's just crazy. Belena reveals her secret, brushing back her hair to show Lint her horns. She smirks. Horned ones are 3 times stronger. Next day, he heads to the capital guild. The sun's high and the streets are packed. Adventurers grab their tasks. Lin steps up, but suddenly faceplants onto the table. The girl shrugs, terrified. Exhausted from a sleepless night due to Belena, Lint reaches out and calmly registers their duo. Embarrassed, she admits she recognized him as yesterday's Lint catcher. Immediately noticing he looks totally exhausted. Lint's words clear the air. Belena sneaks up, mocking his sleep schedule before smiling and reminding him Lint's still young, no need to worry. Stunned to see Belena, the girl thanks her for the hard work and hands over the proof. Belena's officially nominated for S rank. Leaning in, the employee whispers a warning. Lint is only rank D. Is he really worth the partnership? The bald adventurer from the tavern suddenly appears, shocked to see Lint alive. Lint grinned, mission complete. He thanked his partner for yesterday's support. Hyped by Lint's insane skills, the man asks if he's really joining Boline's team. Lint just smiles, saying a lot's happened lately. Belena realized Lint was a hero. Glancing back, the man brought up how Lint saved those sewer weirdos. Spotting their savior, the guys bolt over to thank him and praise Lint for crushing yesterday's mission. The boys convinced the tamer soloed the Wolf Queen. Lint frantically explains, but the guild worker sees the truth. The tamer's authority just skyrocketed. Lint acts was paired with Beely. Their S and D ranks limit them to strictly C-rank quests. Belena reassures Lint, smiling as she vows they'll hit S rank. Lint stunned. Can he really reach the top? Belena laughed, vowing they'd grow strong and sweet, just like Len and his loyal friend Kurek. Belena's sure they'll be the greatest team in history. her face beaming with pure joy. Kure Uk rustles in the apron pocket. Catching Lint's attention, he immediately asks his partner what's wrong. Kiri points, and Len spots that guild jerk they fought earlier dragging a sword across the floor. He stalks toward Lint with a manic laugh and a crazed grin, shouting, "I've been looking for you. You're just a shorty with a monster." He mocks them. He who laughs last laughs best, and vows to kill Lenta. Olena winks at the boy and raises her hand. He ditched his sword and charged Lenta, but Belena intercepted, screaming that the tamer shared his power. Belena locks on and strikes, a flash of light shattering the villain's gear to pieces. A blinding flash erupted, and a massive hit sent him flying. He slammed into a column, shattering it instantly. Lint sees Belena over-defending and snaps, screaming her name. He demands to know what she's actually accomplished. Belena's stunned, calling for Lint. She realizes her strike just triggered a massive wave. In Lint's arms, the traveler was hyped. After 1,000 failures, everything finally clicked. It was effortless, pure destiny. Ina was speechless with joy. She suddenly stood up, freed Lint, and squatted down. Final check. Original 33 words. Draft 16 words. As Belena warms up, Lint asks if she has any final stops before leaving. She thinks, then reveals a spot on the outskirts she needs to see. Lint asks where they were going, but Belena just smiles and beckons him. He thinks she's hinting to hold hands. Final choice. She laughs, loving that the tamer is still blushing. It's wild considering they've already been way more intimate. Lint reaches out, and Belena instantly grabs his hand. She repeats her promise to win him over, and all Lint wants is to hold her hand and see her smile. Belena calls the move and suddenly bolts, dragging Lin along as he yells in shock. They tear through the streets like a gale, flattening merchants and leaving horse carts in their dust. A massive blast levels the area. Belena splits apart, announcing their arrival, while a relieved Lint thanks God he's still alive. Belena spots a dragon's nest past the hill. Lint's stunned, but she's certain they can find and tame hatchlings here. Belena declares the boy a dragon tamer. Linta is shaken to his core to him. This is a direct path to his death. Belena scans for the strongest hatchling as a shocked Linta spots other dragons nearby. Blind but sharp, the hero hears a dragon breathing ahead while Belena watches another, wondering if it'll obey. Lint screams as the ground shifts. Belena's relieved it's just in time. A dragon bursts from the shadows, drawn to the light. The ground shatters, and Lint screams in terror, amusing Belena until a massive dragon suddenly towers over them. A massive beast appears, freezing the world. Lint shields his face, but refuses to look away as the ground shatters under the insane pressure. Belena charges instantly, shouting fireball and outpacing the dragon's attack. A massive blow slams the dragon down fast, just like the adventurer. Its head thunders into the dirt, while Belena dominates the fight. Belena grins, asking the dragon if it wants more. A subtle flick of her hand dares the beast to strike. The dragon rises, its rage gone. It's done fighting, and Belen finally breathes a sigh of relief. Belena waves Lent over, grinning as she shouts for him to tame the beast. Lint drops his pack and questions Belena, taming a massive dragon. He can to wrap his head around it. Belena smiles and pats the dragon, calling him a good boy to prove to everyone he's actually harmless and kind. Lent awkwardly jokes the dragon is actually scared of Belena. She snaps, flashing a scary smile and demanding he repeat that. Lint nears the dragon, and it bows. He touches its head, igniting the taming process in a flash of light. Lintu the dragon looks mean, but is actually charming. He's still reeling from Belena's unfair win, and is now completely terrified. Taming complete, Lint smiles, assuring the dragon it's safe and promising to personally protect it. Belena asks if he succeeded, and Lint confirms, smiling. She says she expected nothing less. Lint is now a true dragon tamer. Lint credits Belena for their victory, insisting she tamed the dragon. She just smiles at his modesty. Belena, Kia Yuk, and the dragon are all under his command. She's shocked. He's mastered beings far stronger than himself. Lint asks which power she means, and Balanina excitedly reveals his special Tamer gift. Belena says the team is just his friends, but Lint is the real prize. True strength lies in him. Lint flushes with embarrassment. Totally lost, he just nods along sometimes, agreeing is just easier for everyone. Blaine grins at Lin's cluelessness and proudly introduces him as Lin the Dragon Slayer. Belena pets the dragon, declaring its naming time. Lint brainstorms, hunting for a name the beast will love. Seconds later, the boy gets a bright idea and names the newborn dragon Gil. Lint points at the dragon and declares Jill is now his warrior, bound to serve him forever. The dragon was overjoyed, and Belena laughed, joking it was finally happy. Lint's amazed. And Belena weighs bringing the dragon for the raid. They head out, even though they have no clue where they're going. Belena pulled Lint onto the dragon, impressed he kept pace. Lint was shocked to find a comfy saddle waiting for them. Belena spots a magic pouch on her belt. The girl grins, explaining it holds everything. Lint realizes the bag is worth a whole house, but Belena tosses it over like junk, joking he can finally ditch his old backpack. Lint hesitates to accept her help, but Belena insists this is her way of showing gratitude. She signals the dragon and it takes flight. Their first battle with Gil starts now. Massive wings kick up dust as they soar. Lint calls for another hunt. Belena confirms their next target is a demonic beast. Belena orders Gil higher to track the target. Gil guns it, and Linton grips tight to keep from falling. Lint's group glides over the canyon, scanning the depths for the demon beast. They're on high alert, eyes locked on every shadow. Lint's signal snaps the duo to attention. They've found something big and Belena readies for action. Belena ditches the saddle and stands. She's not sticking around for that monster. She leaps off the dragon, racing for the ground. Lint worried for the girl, but realizing she had a plan, he ordered his dragon to tail her. Belena refuses to back down, charging the monster as Lint screams for her to snap out of it. Belena lunges, tackles the beast, and screams, "Gotcha!" stopping its wild thrashing instantly. Lint rushes to check on Belena, but she snaps, ordering him to start the taming right now. Time was running out. As Lint approached, the beast's body erupted in a massive magic blast. A flash blasts the boys aside, but Belena refuses to quit, springing up to charge the demon again. A second flash lights the sky. Cornered, the beast lunges at its hunters, but Belena dodges a fireball aimed right for her. Lint knelt in panic, fearing for Belena, but she just laughed. The beast's attacks were too weak to even scratch her. Suddenly, the beast appears. Belena freezes. It's the Emperor, Firewolf. Lint senses a massive aura, and Belena confirms it. They're facing a rank S demon with insane abilities. Lint realized the monster's power was immeasurable and a total mystery. Belena signaled him to start. Belena orders the cleaner to bait the wolf for 3 minutes. Lint thinks it's suicide, but the insane plan reveals the monster's true identity. 3 minutes felt like forever. He was destined to face a world-class monster, despite being hopelessly outmatched. Lint doubted he could resist, but there's no time to hesitate. Knowing Koryuk and Hill always have his back, Lint seizes the chance to reach S rank alongside them. Lint asks if 1 minute is enough. Belena smiles. She's already set. Belena warns time is short and she's counting on him. Fired up, Lint vows he won't fail this time. Line uses spirit to gather energy, turning this complex skill into explosive power. Lint finally saw why she needed time. Without them, Belena was wide open. While the team held the fire, Lint gambled and launched Kyrgyz. He ordered Gale to fire. The dragon obeyed, blasting the wolf with its fiery breath. Fire can hurt a firewolf. The demon shreds through the dragon breath and lunges at Lint, jaws wide. Kyrgyz slams into the demon wolf, knocking it off course just in time to save his mentor. Lint stared in shock. His little demon just pulled off a miracle, far surpassing any ordinary slime. The wolf waits to strike. Lint realizes the beast is targeting Belena, but she wants to stop using her skill. The wolf lunges in a flash of fire. Lint screams as Jill the dragon leaps in, shielding Belena like a massive wall. The shield held, but the dragon was buckling under the demon's assault. Lint instantly barked at Kiryuk to back up his ally with everything he had. Kiryu lunges, but the wolf's circle explodes in fire, blasting everyone back as the demon's fury boils over. A massive blast sends Kiryuk flying, but Lin reacts instantly, leaping clear of the shockwave. Lint's flawed but still in control, pointing at the dragon and ordering Gil to charge with everything he's got. The dragon blasts fire at the demon, instantly incinerating the wolf in a heat vortex. Lint stands, stunned. Gil's breath hit the mark. It's an insane feat, but he's far from finished. Running on empty, the guys gave everything. Belena was ready. Lint saw her hoist the firewolf. Belina smiles, apologizing for the wait. Lenta gasps her name, but she just teases it's time to tame the beast. Belina pins the demon, Lint triggers his taming skill, and the wolf bows in submission. Lint wipes his brow, relieved it's finally over. The wolf is calm, and Belina just one-shotted an S-class monster. Belina beams, reporting Lenta survived his first battle while praising his rock-solid defense. Despair consumed Lint, but while he credited Gil and Kieruk for the win, Belina insisted he fought like a true tamer. Lint knew she was right. Pain shot through his shoulder, and he clutched it. That hit from the fight felt like his bones were shattering. Belina pulls a dark bottle from her pocket and offers Lint the healing potion. She's truly grateful. But he realizes the gift is special class. He's stunned. This thing costs a fortune. Lint gives Kieruk a potion, praising the brave slug for saving his life time and again. Belina pokes the dragon's gill, reminding Lint of their new friend. Lint smiles, knowing she's right. Lint instantly names the wolf Kahero. Blaney loves the choice, agreeing it perfectly honors their recent battle. Belina strokes Emperor's thick fur. The demon loves his new name and hangs on her every word. Lent strokes the beast and asks it to join the team. With a satisfied howl, the wolf agrees to share its power. Belina's choice was no accident. She was ready to tell Lint exactly why she picked Kahero. He warns the demon is insanely strong, but Belina adds it's also about Lint's own inner strength. Belina brings up spirit possession, testing Lent's knowledge on the subject. Midnight hits exhausted. Lint and Belina return to the capital for rest, while the dragon waits deep in the forest like a silent guardian. Midnight, he wakes up and whispers, "They back," while Belina snores soundly beside him. Lint saw she was exhausted from battle. He knew mastering Kairos's power was the only way to finally back her up. He remembers yesterday's talk Belina asked about spirit possession, swearing it's painless and how all pro-tamers fight. Lint claims mastering this makes him Belina's equal. She agrees, but warns him to keep it secret. Belina summons Kahero. The wolf obeys, and as she leans in, Lint has no clue what she's plotting. Her smile glows as the wolf blasts Lent with fire. Swallowed by the blaze, Lent touches the beast and finally understands Belina's words. Fire engulfs Linza, so Belina tells him to use his new power and step forward. Lint accepts Belina's request and charges, but the fire suddenly blasts him forward with insane force. The guide slams into a stone wall and slowly slumps down. Blaine laughs, telling Lenta he must master this power, but the idea feels totally unnatural to him. Belina reveals Lint finally matched Kairo's power. Lint's baffled, so she offers to train together. Belina warns, "Get used to his strength. Tomorrow the brutal training begins." Lint breaks down, realizing she's dead serious. Arguing with Belina was a waste. If he takes out Kahero, he'll get promoted and finally build her dream team. He's hitting the battlefield with Belina's S-rank squad. But how does she view her own team? And what's Lindsay's role? Belina snaps awake to a quiet voice. Rubbing her eyes, she wonders if she'd actually dozed off. Belina tries to apologize, but Lint thinks she's just battle-worn. She shuts him down. The war isn't the problem. Exhausted, she douses herself in water, smiling as she admits Lint worked her so hard that night she's completely spent. Belina kicks her leg up, smiling at their progress. Lint agrees, it's been a massive day. Belina tallied her team on her fingers and declared the squad complete. She lays out the plan. Keriuk tanks the front, while Lint, Belina, and Kahero follow as the main force. Lint wants a shooter or mage for the rear, so he picks Gil. Belina agrees, promising to cover him. The team needs a healer, and she points right at Lint. He's the perfect man for the job. Lin knows teams need healers. The boy doubts they'll find one, but Blaine is sure they've got it covered. She's already got the intel, leaving Lint completely blindsided. Belana plans to recruit the Saint once she hits the capital, but Lent thinks she's officially lost it. Belena splashes the water, dead serious. She's about to spill the truth, but Len covers his ears and screams that he's heard enough. Belena tries to soothe the terrified boy, but Lent is too shaken and stubbornly resists. Lint knew the god-chosen enlightened was the world's strongest sorcerer, and the Holy of Holies title was the ultimate peak of magic. Imagine Lint's face on every wall, the whole city staring, but he knows this ego trip would make him humanity's greatest enemy. Blaine smiled, agreeing it was wonderful, but Lint warned her to watch her words and stop joking. Lint realized saints aren't pets. Even mages can't control them. Belena noted the girl's insane beauty, and Lint took it to heart. Next morning, a satisfied Belena heads to work, grinning, clutching a stack of new guild quests. Belena's special training list is a total nightmare, but despite Lint's protests, she just smiles and says they'll crush it. Belena says you can always escape a mistake, but only risk-takers win big. Belena knew this workout would push him, and Lint noticed her insane energy. Belena wonders where Kahero went, but learns the wolf is in the spirit world. Blaine smirked. The plan was practical. The hero could move unseen, unlike Gil. Belena chose the wolf for a reason. If Lint conquers his nature, he'll become a true wizard. Belaine realizes Lint's a natural, outclassing even her. His first mission: slay monsters and harvest explosive fruits. Belena's sure they've got this. They hit the Green Point, their main quest hub. But as they step onto the glade, she warns the grass here will never. Belena thanks the dragon and hops off. Lint scans the mission. It's strictly B rank or higher. He mocks the weird title, but she doubles down. Real monsters are hiding right here. Lint trusted Belen completely. Suddenly, a giant beetle erupts from the ground, but Belen stays on guard. Wasting no time, she flicks the attack away, coldly calling everyone here nothing but insects. Lint's training begins. The team assembles, summons Kahero for a power boost, and crushes every quest they face. Lint struggled to control his S-rank pet's insane power. Every time he moved, the beast effortlessly tossed him aside. It was a struggle, but reaching the wolf taught Lintu a vital lesson. With Kahero's power, the Worm Lord and Dwarf Worm are history. His wolf flame shell makes him untouchable, letting him crush any enemy with ease. She warns him, fight like that, and you'll ruin the monster materials. Belena calls for a break. They camp by a massive oak, lighting a fire to eat and recharge. Lint plates a meal for Bilyena, grinning as he reveals he's mastered cooking monster meat. Belena's thrilled by the dish. One bite in, she's blown away by the flavor. She raves about Lin's cooking, joking he should open a restaurant in the capital. Lin says he mastered the craft while living alone. Belena never imagined potions in the kitchen, but her obsession with raw meat leaves Lint totally baffled. Lint realizes Belena's beast human nature explains her weird taste. She calls out, noting that hunting explosive fruits helped him master Kahero's power. Human-faced fruits burst from the ground, exploding on contact, but surprisingly, they're delicious. Lintu struggled, but when the blast hit, he shielded himself and cast illusions for Kahero. They only survived because Kahero reacted fast. Belena smiles at Lent's growth, douses the flames, and heads back to the capital. Blaine asks if any tasks remain. Lint scans the records and finds only one left, the deadliest of them all. Belena calls for the mission training S over, and Lint S finally in perfect sync with Kagwaro. One step left, Lintu sends Kayaru S images, forging their ultimate weapon. The final task, hybrid monsters, stitched together freaks with cat faces, beaver tails, and massive horns, instantly pounce on the guy. Lint dodges the strike and reaches out, letting Kajero incinerate the monsters. With the last ones cleared, Lint finally finishes the job. He sighs in relief, his math proving perfect, while Belena confirms the win with high praise. Belena lunges forward, shouting that Lint finally controls Kahero's body, a total miracle. Lint grins, fist raised, declaring they're finally equals, and Belena admits she's been waiting for this. Reporting the success, a crowd swarms. Locals buzz, stunned by the news. Eyes hit the loot, a pile of fangs and beast carcasses. Shocked locals can't believe they hauled it all back alone. Belena waves, confirming the truth. She and her friends found and destroyed the items, while the boy blushes, admitting he couldn't have done it alone. Lint credits Kajero. Belena hugs him, insisting that's exactly how a tamer fights. The village heads for drinks, lining up to shake Lint's hand and thank their protector for his insane skills. Rabbits have overrun the area, devouring fields and livestock. The pack is massive, no normal person can stop them alone. The village pooled their last coins for the guild, baiting elite pros. But the real shock, a powerhouse warrior just arrived in this wasteland. Lint's stunned when a stranger is compared to him. He had no idea other adventurers were even here. The host reveals a non-guild stranger visited first, putting the guys on edge. Then, shouts and curses explode from the nearby stable. Wounded on the hay, a traveler groans as church volunteers swarm him. He's furious. The journey was brutal, and they're only paying him in pocket change, no potions. The stranger snapped and cursed the village. Belena meets the village assistant and snaps the guys just a self-proclaimed B-ranker. Lint mocks the man for being bitten by rabbits. The adventurer snaps back, warning him to watch his mouth. He represents a major Vermont trading company. Belena asks Lint about the group, but he shrugs. He only knows the name. The woman explains their trade and begs for help against the rabbits. Intrigued, Lint investigates their struggle. She was charged triple the agreed price, a move Lint calls a total breach of contract. Blaine warns that defeat means no backup, but the man snaps and screams for him and Linter to shut up. The man rages, claiming he represents Vermont. He warns that a few words will end them, but Blaine just calmly whispers, "Flash." His world flipped when he realized who stood before him. After a quick double check, he shouted in shock, "She's a rank, a beast human." Belena crosses her arms and stares him down, reminding him she's S-rank. Silence hits as the adventurer drops to his knees, begging for mercy. Belena's eyes burned with passion, reminding him of the elixir. He just shrugged theatrically, playing dumb to smooth things over. He smiled, vowing to leave the village once healed. Vermont's rep refused to stay in their debt. Belena dumps a potion on the man's head. He tries to apologize, but she cuts him off. She only sells the stuff, and now he's in her debt. The man's wounds heal instantly, shocking the villagers. He was dying a second ago, but now he's fully recovered. Lint grins. Belena can revive anyone from just a single ear, but a miracle like that costs a fortune. Vermont Trading's rep grins at his healed hands, health fully restored. He bows low to thank Belena for saving him. Belena smiles, thanks Don to pay the bills, so the man pulls his wallet to settle up. Biliaina smirks, clutching a small bottle. She demands full price, certain the adventurer knows its true value. Business finished, the crew hops on their dragon to leave, but Lent notices Belena is fuming. She still can't wrap her head around that man's pathetic greed. Lint felt amazing, but Belena warns he's trashing their reputation. Lint shrugs it off. Only the guilty guy suffered. Belena agreed. As animals roamed the messy barn, she indifferently claimed her life was unchangeable. The company could keep her debt. With the capital in sight, Gale stays in the forest as usual. The team huddles to plan, and Belena suggests reporting to the guild first. She wanted the scoop on Lin's C-rank promotion, but he suggested hitting the tavern to eat and recharge, knowing Belena needed it too. Back at the guild, something snaps. Beely screams in a blind rage, refusing to accept this insanity. By mentoring the boy, Belena used her high rank to block his promotion exactly as she planned. The guild rep is clear, rules are rules. Belena shuts down Lint's promotion, warning that without raw strength, he's going nowhere. Belena blames the worker and plays dumb. But the girl points to Lent, revealing he's the true dragon tamer. Belena charges the worker with new energy, but he ignores her words and laughs, mocking her for confusing dreams with reality. She's seen too many people use connections to climb the ranks, so she refuses. Lin quiets Belena and tests the boy's power. Since no one believes them, he'll prove it himself to earn his promotion. The clerk mentions a special exam, an easy win for Dragon Tamer's smirking. She tells him he can start tomorrow morning. Lint paused, promising a call after breakfast. The girl laughed, calling it perfect while joking. She'd never believe him anyway. Lint asks what's next. She tells him he must duel the examiner to prove his naval rank's true power. Heading home, Belena vents about that shady employee. The whole situation is driving her insane. Belena hated her instantly and told Lint to ignore it. Lint shrugs it off as a tamer's fate, but Belena snaps at his low self-esteem. Belena remembers the guild employee's joke the examiner is only rank B. She's beyond disappointed. Lin identifies the girl as Mira. She seems sweet, but Blaine suddenly snaps. Lin rushes to apologize, admitting her big mouth ruined everything again. Almost at the hotel, Belena says to relax, but Lint reveals he's got a massive exam tomorrow. Belana begs Lint to slow down, but he brushes her off, insisting she's actually loving it. Lint admits he can't resist Belena's charm, smirking. She asks if that's his limit. Morning hits a silent city. Belena's still out cold, but Lint's already up and prepped for the exam. Lint quietly greets the girl, teasing her for oversleeping, then tells Kiaruk it's time to move out. Belena wakes up to find Linto gone. She rolls out of bed, praying she'll crush her exam. She stretches, deep in thought. The examiner is here. She smirks. If it's really him, this is going to be hilarious. A heavily armored warrior stares Lint down, sword slung over his shoulder. He's a ghoul, and he's here to conduct Lint's trial exam. The worker sees Kirgik and spots a cute tiny dragon, but the ghoul drops his sheath, calling the whole scene a pathetic show. Licking the blade, the examiner sneers, asking if Lint wants to say goodbye to his mum before he breaks his bones. Standing his ground, Lint asks if helper animals are allowed before the trial starts. Buzz laughed, offering Lint the whole group, but the man knew it wouldn't help the tamer. The clerk hesitates, but she reveals Gould was a rank B pro before he retired. Lint grinned. Intel secured, worries gone, it was time to hit the start. Hand raised, she announces the start of Lint's rank-up trial. Neither side moves. Len folds his arms, but Gould mocks his hesitation, forcing him to strike first. Kirgik effortlessly parries the goblin's ambush, stopping the blade cold and stunning the examiner. Kirgik shoves him back, stunning Hul, and Mila Hul shakes his head, claiming the strike didn't land as intended. Lint screams Kacheros' name as flames explode around him, leaving Gull stunned by the spectacle. Lint blurs toward Gula, kicks his sword hand and disarms him instantly. The blade slams into a tree. Mila collapses in shock. Lint shields Gould, noting the enemy is unarmed, and asks for his next move. Gol screams for him to stop, but the man already knows. Lint leans in, claiming he didn't hear, as Shul roars the news he passed the test and earned his rank. Elena suddenly shouts from behind Julia, reminding everyone that looks are deceiving and judging a book by its cover is a total waste. Belina stops and yawns, shocking Hall. He screams, wondering why she's with a loser, but Belina proudly confirms she's the teacher. Belina grins, declaring she's not done. The judge is still here, so the fight stays live, but Gol just silently walks away. Warning against interference in the individual trial, the man gets clocked mid-sentence as Belina barks, "Keep your eyes wide open." Goblin teeth littered the floor as Mira froze in terror. Lint stepped up like she was a judge, asking if any rules were broken. She points behind her in shock, and Lint instantly gets the signal. He calls his dragon's name, then grins. Gil's finally here, even if he's late. Lint noticed Mira acting weird. He looked down to see a puddle at her feet. He couldn't believe his appearance terrified her this much. Hall and Mira bow in apology, stunned by the outcome, as Mira begs the guys to forget their blunder. Mira hands Lenta an envelope. It's his new guild card. He's stunned. They work fast here. Mira reports Lint's maritime adventurer rank, admitting she rushed the job to fix yesterday's mess and regain trust. She spins to Belena, hands clasped in prayer. "Don't to tell anyone I can to lose my job." Belena smirks, asking if the job's easy enough for a girl, while Mira declares she's ready for anything. Belena saw Mira's resolve. She leaned in and whispered the plan to expose the man's talent. Mira blushes and bolts. Belena targets Gulam next, ordering him to retrain. "Forget classes. This is a brutal test of strength." They mount the dragon and head out. Lint checks his map. It's already updated. He shows Kari Yuk the high-rank sea zones, now shimmering beautifully. Lint's finally a real adventurer, and he's stoked Belina beams, telling him he'll hit BRA rank in no time. Blana calls for a move. Lint suspects she found a healer, and she confirms the saint is already waiting. Lint's stunned. The stranger warns that knowing Belina changes nothing. She's a divine saint. Belina nods, confirming this is no friendly reunion. Lint is stunned when Belena reveals the saint is a top-rank adventurer, a legendary combo of Holy Maiden and Master Seeker. Belena laughs, promising Lint the truth is coming soon. She's swamped with work and needs his help. Belena declares the search for the world's best healer is on a sky high. Adventure awaits, and Lint is absolutely hyped. Someone touches the book as a loud noise outside grates on her nerves. She stood up, sensing something massive ahead. She had to figure out her next move. The city's besieged knights storm the gates. A massive ram shatters the wood, and the army floods in. All-out war erupts, steel clashes, and warriors roar as the order rings out. Find the priest, he's nearby. Peering from her window, a girl in a cassock asks for a status report, the truth. Cardinal Karama is just a weak pawn with a shadow of real power. In the realm of gods, a being of infinite power split himself in two. He was far more complex than he seemed, but his strength was absolute. That's the least of his worries. His acting talent, human emotions, and one final essential trait matter way more. The perfect opening is here, time to play their trump card, now that Dragon Knight leader Baron has vanished. She turns away, doubting her choice. Is the Cardinal really capable of this? Twilight hits the Bohemian room, but the Saint is disgusted. No luxury can hide how alien this place feels. Stripped of freedom, she was trapped in a cage with no windows or doors. A massive blast rocks the Holy Virgin's location, shredding the walls and sending debris flying everywhere. Witnesses below watched in disbelief as the tower vanished, blown to pieces. Relief turns to panic as the crowd swarms the Holy Virgin, but she calms them down, explaining she just got lost. Demanding the truth, the Holy Virgin shouts for her father, her raw intensity leaving the armored guards stunned. Lint thinks they're bound for the Holy Lands to meet the Virgin, but Belena reveals the plan just changed. Lint digs for the plan, but Belena has one person to see first. Belena says the flight to the capital takes an hour and asks Lint for a story to kill time. The boy demands a topic, so she asks how they met Kuryuk and how Lint became a Tamer. Lint found the stories a total drag, but Blesser laughed and leaned in, eager to hear the rest. Belena warns Lint she'll force him if he resists, pressing his hand to her chest. Seeing she's serious, Lint nervously agrees to spill everything. He's from Freemail, a border village near the Holy Land, home to a tiny guild, nothing compared to the capital's massive organization. He's an unregistered adventurer, but Rumi bankrolls him, paying massive bonuses for every job he clears. Inside a silent ruin, a boy plots his future. To survive this world, he must become an adventurer. He's one step from the gear, but dead broke, and every big payday gets snatched by his powerful rivals. Everything's falling apart, and Lint's fuming. He tosses his mended glove aside, drowning in self-loathing over his total lack of skills. Every effort feels like a waste. Profit or die, that's the rule. Lint was stunned by how heartless this world truly is. Staring at the stars through the broken roof, he made a vow: science starts tomorrow. He carves a wooden sword and spends days relentlessly slashing the nearby bushes. I marched into unknown territory and realized I was lost. Things were spiraling fast. Lint sensed the unknown ahead. Driven by adventure, he pushed forward. Lint trips and tumbles through the brush, getting up to find a small cave right in front of him. Lint wondered, is this the only entrance? A normal cave is simple, but ancient ruins or dungeons make things way more complicated. Could these ruins belong to a different building? He clicks on his flashlight. It's time for an adventure. Lint scanned the dungeon in shock. He never expected halls this massive. Lint touched the wall and knew instantly the stones were fake. This was man-made, and he was dead certain. Lint finds the true ruins. Fate's finally on his side. Real treasure is waiting nearby. Lint moves forward, but hits a dead end. Nowhere to go. Why is this place so cramped? Lint steps on charred paper, clueless that he's looking at a treasure map. He finds a drawing of a half-naked girl and sighs. These images are everywhere. Lint kicks the paper in a rage, suddenly spotting expensive, high-quality letters standing out from the trash. He grabs the sheets and shines his light, revealing a unique coat of arms in the bottom right corner. Lint finally found the treasure he needed. Selling every scrap would make him rich, but after grabbing a few pages, he stopped to dive into the story. Lint found a textbook. He grabbed the pages and cheered. This find is worth more than any treasure. Lint recognized the simplification textbook instantly, but he was baffled. Why did fate hand him this specific book? Legendary warriors once roamed the world, taming dragons and forcing monsters to fight for them. Useful, but Lint knew the catch. Mind racing, he shut his eyes to find answers. Living with monsters haunted the hero. How could he walk among beasts and still stay isolated? Society mocks tamers. Their beasts do the fighting while they just watch. Their glares were obvious. They didn't want him there. Outcasts like him never fit in. The textbook crushed their last hope. Now they wait. Broke and bottom tier, Lint can't afford weapons, so he turns to an ancient book for power. Despite a bleak future, he makes a calculated move. He's going to. Slapping his knee, he decides things can get worse. Time to go solo as a C-rank adventurer and finally look cool. Lint lives for adventure, grinning at the thrill ahead. Quitting is a crime, so becoming a tamer was a no-brainer. This is his destiny. Torchlight hits an old book, revealing a legend of dragon tamers. He's stunned. Were these dragon lords actually real? Flipping through the beginner guide, the hero finds exactly what he needs. His hunch was right. Chapter 1 reveals the secret, the monster taming limit. Next, monster taming pages reveal every secret and trick. He absorbs every vital detail. Lint scored monster intel and instantly knew its worth. Every book detail stuck instantly, leaving him stunned by his own perfect memory. He grinned, obsessed with taming new monsters and hungry for more. Imagine a mighty minotaur or a soaring skybird. Find its egg, and true happiness is yours. Lint snaps out of it. These monsters are too strong, and with no backup, there's nowhere to run. The book reveals the best starting targets. If monsters fail, try animals. Done reading, he grabs his torch and stands tall, shouting, "It's time to move." He just hopes he'll finally meet someone good on the road. Story over, Linton flies on. He touches the girl, but she tells him to stop. He asks if she hates it, but she says that not the reason. Belina glances back, asking to see the book's emblem, and the boy agrees instantly. Neglect erased his identity, but in the right eyes, this nobody is a rising star. She pulls an 8-pointed star from the book, asking if it matches the symbol she saw earlier. Lint's stunned. How does she know that symbol? Belina confirms it. She's seen it before. He grilled her on the book's worth. She paused, then confirmed it. This thing was priceless. The daredevil hesitated, hand to her mouth, while the hero waited on edge for answers. Belana's told she's beautiful when she's thinking, making her instantly blush. She snaps at him for the embarrassment, but he just smiles and apologizes. Belina quickly pivots to the book to kill the tension. She remembers the boy's star book. Lint asks for the plot and author, but she promises to reveal everything in time. Belina wants to keep talking. He's confused, but she clarifies she wants the full story on his meeting with Kuru Yuko. Lint locked onto the favorite. This was no accident. A strange feeling hit him. A boy rockets through the forest, skids on the grass, and slams headfirst into a tree. The goblin glared down in rage, then turned and left him on the ground. Lent stood up. Frustrated, his plan failed. Why did the goblin defy him? Taming this beast was proving way harder than he imagined. He can pay the contract, so he settles for the weakest monster, a slug. It's enough to start. He focuses and begins the summon. Lint spots 5 slugs trailing him through the brush. He grins, targeting the biggest one first. The hero looked closer. 2 snails were tormenting a third. The snail trembles, barely holding on. From the brush, Lint watches. These 2 are the strongest of the bunch. Terrified, the snail snaps its gaze toward the boy. Lint stunned, wondering why it's staring him down. The slug's hopeless, pleading gaze stuns the boy. Stepping from the bushes, the boy sighs. No choice, he has to help. Lint vows to save him on one condition: fix the snail. The boy agrees to tame the beast and stop whining. The snail nods, and Lint prays it actually understands the deal. Reaching out, he knew he looked weak, but this was his first step. He focuses and triggers his taming skill. But when he opens his eyes, the jelly hasn't changed at all. The snail stared Lint down, and suddenly he could read its mind. Now, he had only one goal: taming the beast. The snail glares and bolts, leaving Lint baffled. He shouts in frustration. Why is it ditching him now after begging for his help? Lint brags he can solo them all with 0 risk, then recalls his monster. Lint and his tamed snail watched as the attackers finally retreated. The giant snail sighs in victory. Lint teases its ego, then sincerely thanks the beast for saving him. The snail's just happy to help. Lint sighed in relief. He finally understood taming. Things just got harder. There's now a limit on tamed monsters. Lint vows to unchain his new slime. The monster stares in shock, but the boy stands by his word. Lint stands, tells the snail it's got this, and bids his tiny friend farewell. Hero dives into the brush, but the monster vaults over, staying hot on his heels. The slug catches up, swirling with joy. The hero tells it it's free, but the monster stubbornly refuses to leave. The snail leaps onto Linya's shoulder, shocking him. He tells it to stop. The monster perches on the hero's shoulder, looking smug. Lint wonders if the snail is mocking him. Lint offers the monster a deal: behave, and you can tag along. The slug agrees instantly, and Lint welcomes his new ally. It needed a real name. Calling it slime just wasn't enough. He names him Kiryuk, asking if he likes it, then grins and says it sounds just like jelly. The monster leaps onto his shoulder. He smiles, loving it. They both know his name is Kiryuk. Lint recounted their journey as they hiked the forest. Kiryu perched on his shoulder, leading the way. A strange snail catches the hero's eye. He leans in, wondering what happened to it. Spotted, the creature leaps off Lint's shoulder and bolts. He instantly gives chase, yelling for her to stop. The boy questions his actions, reminding him they've got no time to waste. Kiryu stood firm, demanding they follow, but Linta fumed, hating his arrogance. He chases the snail, paving his way, but suddenly stops dead to look at his feet. Lint knelt in awe, inspecting the rare bells while Kieryuk bounced with pure joy. He grabs the plant in shock. It's the key to the world's most complex potions. The hero asks his monster if it saw him collecting the items, and the slug nods instantly. Overjoyed, the hero grabs his tamed snail and wants to stop bragging about how awesome it is. Inspired, he starts gathering plants, joking he'll make a fortune in just 3 days. Smiling, the hero promises the snail a real treat today. The snail greedily devours the grass. Stunned, the boy tells Kayaruk those plants are actually worth a fortune. He joins the herb hunt as Lint and Kuruke return to the bustling village. Traders haggle and carts haul loot, while Rimi grumpily fights a mountain of guild paperwork. Lint hasn't shown up at the guild for days. Packing her papers, she can't shake the anxiety what happened to him. Guild chatter caught her ear. They all wondered, who is this kid? And is she even alive? The Rini guild spotted 2 smiling men back from the woods, inspecting a piece of lint. She lunges forward, shoves everyone aside, and grabs his cheeks, leaving him mortified. Lint's stunned as Rimi approaches, scanning him head to toe for injuries. Relieved he's alive, she grills him on where he's been, her anxiety turning to hurt. Lint greets her and apologizes. Grinning, he drops his bag and unzips it, mentioning he found a prime spot to stock up. Remy takes the bag of grass and freezes. She's never seen this many bells. She starts the assessment, but stops when she spots slime on the boy's shoulder. She asks what kind of slime it is, and he blankly replies he's a trainer now. Grinning, she asks if he's really a tamer, then shouts the news to the whole yard. Lint's a tamer. Remy stayed hyped, demanding to know how he got that rare skill, but the boy shushed her, claiming it was just basic taming. Shocked, the bullies grilled Rimmer about his animal taming, one even joking it was just another excuse to mock him. Remy beams, asking to pet Lint's tamed beast and learn its name. Lint smiles back, introducing the creature as Curie Yuk. She stroked the slime, beaming as she gushed about how soft and cute it felt. A voice calls him Mr. Enchanter, and Lint shudders. 3 men surround the boy. One mocks his monster's mobility, another sneers that a weak beast fits a skillless loser, and the third just laughs. A sudden slap freezes the room. The man coldly tells Lin someone's waiting outside, but Lin just closes his eyes, unfazed by the weak blow. Rimi blurts it out and instantly apologizes, forgetting tamers hate the noise. The boy just facepalms and shakes his head. He expected this. Rimi grabs Lena's hand, flustering the boy with praise. Her eyes beam as she declares his destiny set, leaving him beet red. Smiling, she pulls away and asks if even dragons obey him now, then tells him to wait for her assessment. Lint beams at the girl's attention, clasping his hands, while 2 men behind him glare with pure rage. One man snaps, grabbing Lint by the collar and hoisting him up. He delivers a brutal warning, touch their angel Rimi, and Lint's entire group will pay the price. A bell shatters the silence as the girl shouts Lint's name, making him and his captor spin around. Leaning over the counter, she rings the bell and cheers. The assessment is done. He passed. She cheers for the rank E promotion as Lint leaps up, toppling his friend in shock. He can't believe his ears. Is he actually promoted? Stunned, he bolts to the desk, demanding to know if his promotion is real. Finding answers felt wrong with the points already stacked. But Remy knew it wasn't the deciding factor. The clerk rejects his loot as irrelevant and warns him diving into monster territory is a death wish. He traded safe roads for monster-infested trails, proving his guts to the guild, but did their praise even move him? Lint didn't get the courage talk, he just wanted a change. Rini smiled, knowing the first step leads to greatness. Award in hand, a hyped. Lint left the guild. As the team treats Yuka, he calls the rough day a total success, and the snail gleefully agrees. His rise was obvious. Lin watched as Rimi showered him with constant, unusual kindness. Master Tamer Lint flexes his title, declaring the journey's just beginning. Raising his hand, he vows to reach his goal. Time passes. The village is buzzing. Voices echo through the homes and crowds flood the narrow streets. Remy smiles at the healing snail, calling it sweet. The little guy stirs happily, soaking up her kindness. She looked up, noticing he was getting fluffier. He just grinned, finally doubting Kyrgyz was ever a slime. Remy wonders if it's domestication, but the boy's never seen a slime evolve like this. Suddenly, Kayok floats right off his waist. The boy's stunned. She's got big news, and a hyped Lint demands she spill it now. She snatched the guild bell and rang it hard, demanding attention. The guy stood frozen in shock, unable to believe his eyes. Chimes ring as Remy promotes Lint to rank D, sending the guild into a festive frenzy. Pure joy hit the world as the boy and his fluffy pet celebrated. She hands him his new ID shocked. He stares at the paper, then finally smiles and thanks her. After 2 years of training, Remy thanks his pet for his success. Suddenly, a girl hands him an urgent letter straight from the guild leader. Stunned, he couldn't believe the guild leader actually wrote to him. He didn't even know the boss could reach out. Lent's shout hooks the guild, and the men start buzzing. Did the leader really write that letter? Confused, the boy asks to read the message. His favorite beams with joy as the girl tells him to start right now. Intrigued, Belena demands to know what's in the letter. The guy claims it's just a touching promotion message, but she senses a secret and pushes for the truth. Satellite intel reveals a shocker. The local guild leader is also a Tamer. He sent him to the capital, while Lent's touch left the girl totally confused. He closed the gap, making her scream. She realized this was his mission in the capital, and Lint confirmed it instantly. Belena asks what happened next. The boy says he found a cave and moved in. Wiping sweat, she suggests returning to his homeland, and the worried boy asks why. Lent calls the place a nightmare, but she insists it's not that bad. Belena realized he's now a master dragon rider with an elite S-class partner. Arms around his neck, she suggests the capital first. Any objections? Stunned, he agrees. Belena demands more attention. A flustered Lint agrees, but only after they land. She claims nowhere is off limits. He tries to stop her, but she demands it right here, right now. Bells scream near the capital as the alarm sounds. A deadly threat is closing in. The swordsman screams a dragon warning, ordering everyone to prepare as another warrior readies the crossbows. Bows ready, soldiers set. The heavy crossbow loads, tension spikes, and everyone holds their breath for the order to fire. Lint warns Belena flying to the city is a mistake. That dragon in the sky is a hero, a tamed beast. Lint hits the capital, a city of massive walls and towering luxury. Belena grins, asking Lent if he's ever tamed a dragon before. Someone hasn't heard of S-rank light Belena. But Lint spots the warriors below, gearing up for an attack. He asks if she's a top adventurer, but she just shrugs. Jumping off dragons is nothing to her. She promises to explain later, leaving Linta frozen in thought. She leaps off the dragon, yelling, "Wait for me," Lint stunned by her grit, left in total awe of her determination. He says he gets it, but he's still on edge. Belena grabs a spire, but Lin pushes her higher. They're still in range of enemy arrows. As they take off, she's haunted by Belena's mystery contact in the capital. Looking down, she's drowning in doubt. Time passed, and the worst was over. The dragon turned, staring in the same direction. Belena steps out, waving to the troops and shouting a warning. The dragon Gil is about to appear. Lint lands the dragon, and the hero thanks her for the peaceful resolution he never expected. She shoots him an annoyed look, demanding to know what he means. The spearmen freeze in shock. One shouts, "A real dragon tamer." Belena just smirks. She warned him this would happen. Leaping off Gil's dragon, Lint spots the panic Belena and the soldiers won to even meet his eyes. Footsteps echo and heads turn as a stranger appears. Lint joins Biolina, both staring in the same direction. All eyes land on a hooded man with a staff. He's pleased. Lint succeeded but confused by Aspelina's introduction. She smiles, suddenly asking to see the Cajero, and a stunned Lint. Hero locks onto Kigero as beastly flames explode around him. "You okay?" he asks. The hooded man freezes in shock, witnessing a true spirit possession as a high-ranking firewolf from another world appears before him. Belena smiled at his reaction, impressed by Lint's skill, then told him to clear the shells. Smiling, the hooded man admits his mistake and reveals he's Valento, head of the capital guild. Lint grins, repeating his question to the stranger, but shock hits him as the truth finally clicks. The hero's reeling. Is he actually the lead? Valento laughs, says the street is too public for this talk, and tells Lintu to walk with him. They enter the building. Linton and Kuryuk go on high alert, but Valento and Balana just stroll ahead, chatting away. Lint approaches Belina, leaving her flustered. She shyly asks what he wants, but he quickly clears the misunderstanding. Questions flooded in. Why'd she bring him? Is it too much? His mind raced for answers in the chaos. She says Valento was once a regular adventurer, so Don T fear the guild leader. Lint shrugs, confused, and tells her to stop being so casual. Belena reminds him she and the maiden are S-rank elites. The boy agrees, but he's still confused. Doors swing open as Villant welcomes the heroes, promising to grant their every wish, while Vilena excitedly dives onto the couch to claim her spot. Lent sits, expecting a standard room, but Valento reveals this is a high-security vault for secrets. Velena adds the room is even named Valento after the guild head. He swears he's a devoted husband, but she laughs, asking about his other female visitors. She tells Lenta she's never been here, leaving him stunned, though he awkwardly. Belena pulls his head into her chest, teasing him for ignoring her. He panics, claiming it was a joke, but then Beliento catches his eye. Belen and Lenta lock eyes and freeze. He tries to talk business, but she pulls back, demanding to discuss St. Lily, catching Valento completely off guard. Belina vows to save Lily and keep going. Lint snaps out of it, demanding her plan and intel on the saint. The man stroked his beard, thinking Belina begged Lint to help, then told the guildmaster her heart was breaking. Lint's stunned Valena shoots him a look, then he awkwardly explains the brutal reality of being torn apart. Arms wide, he asks if they're really just inviting her to the company. Beleni reveals she and Lilia are both Master Valento's students. Lint's stunned, his partner studied here, but why would a high-ranking saint help him? The mystery deepens. Valento promised to reveal the Divine Realm's secrets to a confused Belen. Valento unfolds a map, his staff pointing to the center. Lint is shocked. It's the smallest and northernmost kingdom of them all. Lint notes the constant attacks on the state, suggesting they re-linked to divine protection. Bylena asks about the kingdom of God and answers herself. It's the home of wizards. Stunned, Lint shouts in disbelief. The girl shrugs, claiming only wizards are born there. The brutal truth, magicless kids are executed. Lynch clutches his chest, horrified by the tragedy. He finally gets it. No one attacks because this place is a minefield. Valento drops the news a coup just rocked the land of the gods, leaving the boy stunned. The guild leader asks about Pope Zarathustra's tyranny, and Lent knows the score. His hometown Fremel sits right on the border. He revealed a nation ruled by one faith. They worship the Pope as God's messenger, and no one is allowed to leave. Lent relies on God, but says constantly begging for help is an exhausting, suffocating burden. Valento mutters suffocation, noting many feel the same. Lint asks about the coup, and Valento confirms the mastermind is already prepared. Deep in the divine kingdom stands Cardinal Karim, the monarch's second in command and leader of the anti-pope coalition. Defying the pope only fueled his fire. After crushing the vassals, the hero finally unleashes his rage. Karim raised his hand and ordered the tyrant's death. He had to die. Arms wide, he roared that the Lord blessed these lands as the crowd erupted in cheers. Lena realized both are tyrants, but the public accepts any order from a popular leader. Lint asks why the coup is inevitable. The girl nods. Karim made one fatal mistake. Smiling, she announced she lost Lily and Dad. Saints got the folder and assures Lenta Lily is still on his side. She realized this should have ended sooner. Lily already sent a signal for help. Lint bolts up, asking Belen if they're helping the Pope. She calmly confirms both he and the saint are in. She spoke up. Lily craved freedom and was a lifelong adventurer. Her friend just smiled in this chaos. Being a saint meant nothing. The Pope and Karim won't allow it. Saints are too vital to the kingdom. Nearby, Valento catches every word. Holy figures are one step from God. Their word grants instant legitimacy, but it's no simple blessing you can just carry. Valento's leader panics as a race war erupts. The Pope is returning, and he's bringing the country's full military power. Warriors versus mages. The threat sent a surge of tension through Lint's body. Valant vowed to block any meeting between the Pope and King, but the guild stayed out of politics. Lint smirked, Catching the hint instantly, this was dirty business. Valento assigns Lento the secret mission. Lento trembles, the guild's massive responsibility stopping his heart. Capital Chief Gale eyes Lent, asking if 100 gold coins is enough. Winston envisions 100 gold coins, but stops to calculate the silver exchange. After some quick math, he shakes his head. It's just not enough. Villianto's not just in it for the money, it's personal, and this mission is his ticket to a promotion. Lint collapsed. Thinking of that 100 gold promotion, he threw his head back with hope. Blaina laughs at the boy's fire, but Lint groans reaching those impossible results is beyond his imagination. Grabbing his hand with a confident smile, she insists they stop wasting time and find Lily right now. She calls the leader master, vowing to settle this fast with Lint. Valento locks eyes, telling her it's way more complicated than it looks. The girl stops. Why not just kill the father and end it? Valento raises a finger. This riddle should have been solved ages ago. Suddenly, it clicks, and she spills about the Dragon Kingdom's commander, the Baron. Lint asks who she is. Blaina reveals it's the Baron, a dragon hunter and their biggest obstacle. Night falls on the hidden house as monsters lurk in the branches. Unconscious soldiers surround the house. Kirgi nearly cheers, but Len signals silence as a voice from the bushes warns that any noise will expose them. Follow the plan. Blaina ordered him to wait with Koreyok, promising they'd meet the saint soon. Suddenly, a whistle blew. Lint knew that signal. He sprints down the path and finds Blaina. Breathless, she spots the hero, eyes lighting up. She's done waiting. Lint hugged her, asking if she was safe, but she immediately started urging him on. Grinning, she reminds him how much he loves her cat ears, and the time he kissed them, he turns beet red. Blaina grabs him and bolts, shouting she can to wait. They have to reach Lily now. He asks if she's sure about raiding the saint's house. Blaina charges up the stairs, telling him not to worry. Lint steps over piles of unconscious soldiers while Blaina screams for a bed. A sudden street noise startles the girl in the bath, and she spins around in shock. It's getting dark. Karim must be here. She bolts out the door. Lint and Balina smash through the door. Catching a glimpse, the girl shouts, "Lily!" Lily stares in shock, calling the companion's name. She can't believe she's actually here. The fabric rips, Lily screams, and Blaina smiles. The friends are finally reunited. Saint Lily shouts, stunned by Bayline's sudden arrival. Blushing hard, she sits down and clutches her fabric. She spots the stranger and wonders who he is. Lint barely blinks, giving a quiet greeting. Blaina gleefully introduces Lint, but Lily tells her to drop the act after so long, leaving Lint completely stunned. Lily flushed with shame, snapping at the hero to stop staring or face her wrath. He quickly looked away as Blaina burst out laughing. Blaina taps her cheek, certain that as Lina's wife, she knows this man takes responsibility. Stunned, Lily asked what he meant, then quickly insisted her own words weren't that deep. Blaina leans in and whispers, and her friend's face shifts instantly. Number 10 steps up. The crowd closes in, eyeing the guy with strange curiosity. He's completely clueless. St. Lily hesitated, then awkwardly agreed it was her only choice. Lily admits she's a rookie and asks Lent to go easy. Lent awkwardly scratches his head, asks if she's sure, then gives her a close look. Lily burned to match Blaina's strength. Clutching her chest, she nodded firmly, her eyes pleading with the hero. Blaina laughed, whispering that the Easter fast finally broke her restraint. She couldn't hold back anymore. Blaina grabs Lynch's shoulder, asking why he'd waste this chance. He hesitates but finally agrees as Lily watches in silence. Linta realized this might be his last look at those tempting shapes. This is his one shot. He steps forward as Lily looks away, whimpering. Lint touches her carefully, but his hands grow bolder by the second. The saint loved being captured. Blushing as Len's firm touch sent waves of incredible pleasure through her. Lent expertly explored the saint's curves, overwhelming her with a rush of incredible pleasure. Ribbon fingers traced the saint's body, feeling every touch. When their lips met, desire exploded, no turning back now. Confusion only fueled her pleasure. She wanted Lenta to never stop, craving even more intense sensations. The saint hits her limit with the stranger and screams in ecstasy as the ribbon relentlessly probes her body. Blushing faces, locked eyes, and total silence. Suddenly, the saint drops a bombshell. "Tame me." Lint stunned, she finally called him master. Lint asks if he can conquer her. She instantly agrees, vowing he'll be her master, Then they lock eyes and kiss. Lint leaned into the saint, sparks flying. With a trusting smile, she urged him not to hesitate, and they shared a tender kiss. Lint triggers his taming skill, sending the saint into a surge of overwhelming pleasure. Blushing hard, she playfully calls Lint master. He's so impressive, the saint is literally drooling. Lint bonds with the holy tuner and comforts Lily by name. She confesses her love, needing to hear his voice. Lint pulls her close, feeling her body as Lily begs him to move faster. Belaine grabs Lin's face, catching the flushed hero off guard as sweat pours down, exposing her true feelings. Belaina lunges at Lint and steals a surprise kiss, leaving him speechless at her bold move. She gripped Lin's head, refusing to break the kiss. Their faces flushed as Belaina broke into a sweat. Stunned by her speed, Lint asks how she did it. Belaina laughs, admitting she tried to stay cool while he tamed the saint, but once he got too rough, she had to step in. Linton and Belaina share a heated kiss, cheeks burning with passion. Linton vows to fulfill her every dream, but he's already hitting his absolute limit. Lint laid Belaina down, and they kissed again, but he asked her to slow down. Belaina wondered if he'd hit his limit. One line out, Belaina smirked as Lily hit her peak, whispering, "It was the final step." Lily's victory cry filled the room. "Wait." Lily flushes with pleasure, telling Lint she's ready. Sweating and trembling, Lint grimaces and finally says he's ready too. Lint's power exploded as he finished what he started, gripping Lily's waist and pouring his last bit of strength into her until she screamed in ecstasy. Both drenched in sweat, Belaina watched curiously as a flushed, sweaty Lily reached her peak. Lent worried she was exhausted, but their first time was a total success. Lin's crushed Belaina tells a satisfied Lily she did it all for her now. It's time for her own pleasure. Belaina playfully shoves Lint. He stammers for a second, but she laughs, teasing that he's young enough to handle her lessons. Lint pulls Belaina close and lays her down. Overwhelmed with pleasure, she cries out that she's dreamed of this moment forever. Lily crashes onto Lent as Bayana's leg hooks his shoulder. Lent spins around, completely blindsided by the sudden chaos. Lint speaks up, face red, shocking. Lilia presses against his back, pouting that he forgot her. She calls it unfair, sounding hurt as her own face flushes. Lily's nails trace Lint's back, catching the hero off guard. He never expected this boldness from a saint, and the intense pleasure hits him hard. Ignoring her exhaustion, Lily reached for Lint, blushing. She asked how defenseless her master was, catching Lint off guard with her sudden boldness. Lint rides Belaina's back while Lily works on his legs. Belaina's loving the closeness, but a blushing Lint begs for mercy as Lily teases his honest reaction. Lint, Belaina, and Lily settle into a cozy bed with Lint sandwiched in the middle. Belaina clings to his right arm while Lily rests on his left. Finally, Belaina taps. Lily calls the master a beast, making Belaina beam. The saint gushes about her amazing day and begs for more, while Lint awkwardly admits he's still feeling an itch. Lily leans on Lent, vowing to wait for Linda. Lent smiles, backing her every move. Belaina flirts, asking Lily's opinion. The saint's shocked but ready, while Lint just watches, trying to keep up. Smiling, the saint promises a show. Lint and Belaina watch Lily. She's ready to strike. Lily crosses her arms, swirling white feathers through the room in a magical glow. Holy wings sprout from her back as she ascends, shooting the boys a confident look. Lily's wings snap open, freezing her in mid-air. Lint stares in awe at the literal goddess, while Belaina watches, captivated by her power. Belaina leans on Lenta, joking he's the reason Kiarike isn't just a slime anymore. Lenta's stunned, thinking she's exaggerating. Belaina smiles, revealing she started long before becoming an angel. Lily proudly agrees she's been at it since way before her saintly duties began. Lily says copying her requires level 5 magic. She focuses, reaches out, and starts the demonstration. A butterfly circles the lamp. Lily signals Balin, who lunges and crushes it instantly, leaving Lint stunned. Belaina reveals a crushed butterfly. Lint says it's dead for good, but Belaina just smiles, handing the bug to a joyful Lily. Lint watched in confusion as Lily cast a healing spell on a dead butterfly. A glow wrapped the insect, and suddenly it took flight. Lint couldn't believe it, she'd brought it back to life. Lily boasts her skills, crush normal healing, claiming her angel-level magic can do the impossible. The sanctuary smirked, whispering she'd revive Lint if he passed out. Lint froze, chilled to the bone by pure terror. Lint turned serious, demanding their next move. The meeting with Lily was over, and the saint's disappearance was about to spark total chaos. Three sprawled on the bed. The girls eyed Linda, while the hero zoned out. Lily backed Lynn, insisting Linda was vital because she arrived with her father. Lenta asks if she's ditching the saint role. Lily confesses her holy act is a total lie. Belena suggests declaring the saint dead. Lent warns she'll lose her rank. Lily sighs, knowing he is right. Belaine calls the system a headache. And Lily's annoyed they're starting at F rank. The adventurer insists S+ is reachable with enough grind, while a shocked Lint's fuming, looking to break his status. He laughs, proposing they trade his father to Karim for Lily's freedom. Lily's stunned, but Balina stays cold and indifferent. Belena cheers that Lint's a genius, shocking him, but Lily warns Caro want to prove she wants her father dead, but he won too. Let her go easily. Fuming over her mounting problems, Belen desperately suggests getting rid of both, but Lint snaps that her plan is nothing special. Lily snaps that the country needs a ruler, but Belinus just snorts. Fighting her emotions, she suggests passing the burden to someone else would be easier, urging him to think it over. Blaney's impatient voice shattered the silence. No time to think, only Lint could handle this. Lily froze as the young man sadly wondered how he'd ever rule the nation. Lily loves the plan to make Lent king, leaving him stunned while a hyped-up Belina shouts her next move. Belina points at Lily, declaring her God's messenger, stunned. Lily asks why everything is moving so fast. Belina beams, arms wide, picturing Lily impaling him. She asks the guys for their take, leaving Lint stunned and speechless. Belina grins, grabbing Lent's shoulder and joking they'll rule their own nation as gods. But a confused Lent shuts her down, warning it's not that simple. Lily backs the plan, but Lent is terrified. She claims she'll stay pure while the traitors get caught, leaving Lent completely bewildered. The girls held hands and told Len to gear up for a new challenge, but he was completely clueless. Lint's stunned, he went from a simple adventurer to a king overnight. Beleina and Lilia beam with pride, promising to help him rule his new nation. Lint's baffled. The girls share a smile, sit on the bed, and announce in unison they both want to be his partners. Lily and Belina drag a tired Lint along, ignoring his pleas to wait until morning. They hype him up with jokes and promise to handle the heavy lifting, leaving him with nothing to worry about. Night falls and screams echo through the mansion. Inside, it's total chaos as someone fights to protect Dad. Furious, Light Belaine readies a strike, her fighting spirit radiating from every move. He charges the guards, tossing them aside without slowing down. Belina's unstoppable punching, left and right, she snaps a high kick, slamming her iron greaves into a guard. Guards lie scattered like broken dolls. Lint watches from the bushes, frozen in place. Saint Lily moves like lightning. Lint blinks, and 5 guards are already KO'd. He actually pities them. An annoyed Lily sighs, telling a fading Belina to pull herself together. Memories hit Lincoln as he asks Lily if Boron's there. She confirms they arrived separately while keeping a sharp eye on Balan. She smiles, telling Link that Baron hates fancy hotels and Dad doubts his skills. Link fires back, asking if he really doesn't trust his friends. Lily pauses, then drops a bombshell she thinks the Baron surrendered to his father. Lint's stunned. But Lily cuts him off. The Baron's tied to the Cardinal and ordered the coup. But why Lily explains it reveals exactly where he fled. Blaine and Octa chat with a soldier until a harsh shout snaps her head around. 2 massive dragon knights block her path, accusing her of insulting the locals and demanding punishment. Lint's hyped their dragon knights. He stunned the Barons panicking, but St. Lily just smiles, promising the rebels one to fall. Belena reacts, smashing her fist into the dragon knight's helmet. Metal buckles as the screaming warrior is sent flying. A knight blocks him, and they both crash down. The third rider draws his blade and charges Balin with a roar. Lunging past the boy, the girl strikes another dragon knight, sending him screaming off to the side. The non-stop screams crushed Lint's heart. Lily knew he saw the truth. They were only rank B, mere insects to Belena. Lint sighs in frustration. The pontiffs, still too well guarded, did the cardinal plan this whole thing? Belana cleared the pile of dragon knights, turned with a smile, and cheered that it was finally over. Lint and Saint Lily step out, praising Belena's work and the blinding light. Belena wipes her hands, joking that Mer's help wasn't even needed for this win. She waves to Lily, praising her healing and expecting big things. Lily shyly agrees as the team charges forward. Lint says it's time to meet the father, and Belena asks. Lintu spots a fancy hotel. Lily agrees, warning it's likely packed with security and traps. Smiling, the girl tells Lin she knows where Dad is. Lin asks which room, and she chirps, the best one. Belena mutters, he's no genius. Something blurs past Lint, grazing his hair as a massive tree behind him crashes. A cloaked stranger steps from the shadows, 3 knives at his waist and one held right at Lint's throat as K-Hero's spirit flashes in, catching the blade with its fangs inches from Lint's neck. The opponent leaps back, killing Kadero's chance to counter. The girls watched Lint, paralyzed, while the guy roared about the stranger to escalate the fight. The attacker lands near the hero and instantly springs into a swift leap. He draws a spare blade and readies his guard. The duck tracks him as the truth hits. He's the Pope's personal guardian. Lily screams, she knows him. Lint points to their opponent, and she nods. It's Sage, her father's killer. Smirking, Belena claims he's quieter than grass, fist clenched and eyes locked on the Sage. Lint couldn't rest. Are his friends overreacting? Is Sage really that deadly? Belen grins and suggests taming him. Lint's stunned, but Lily's all in, calling it perfect practice. To Lint, it sounds insane. The girl's support fuels his courage, while a humiliated Lint mutters they'll be gathering his bones later. Saint Lily smiles off her broken bones. She's got this. Belena cheers her on, shouting that self-belief is the key to victory. Betrayed, Lint knew they'd kill him, but he wondered what did they consider abnormal. Killer Wise laughs, flipping his knife and calling them trash. He lunges at full speed, screaming at Lint for ignoring him with their casual chatter. Assassin's Age strikes Lint, dodges the blow, and Kahero jumps in to launch a joint counter. Sage's relentless assault forces Lint back into a desperate defense. Seizing an opening, Sage hurls 3 daggers, but Kadaro catches and snaps them with his teeth, while Lint gasps for Kurz. Mastering the blade, his movements turn razor-sharp. Flames roar as merging with Kahero grants him god-tier speed and power. Hero lunges with a roar, raining down a frenzy of powerful strikes. Mid-fight, Kirilo appears with a smirk, strikes the enemy's head, and instantly zips behind him. The hit did nothing. Sage takes a stance, tracking Lint's every move and waiting for the next strike. Wiping sweat, he tracked his opponent's every move without looking away. He realized this isn't so bad after all. He hailed Kiryuk as the world's best violator, but the truth stung his strikes were useless. If he couldn't win alone, he'd be a nobody forever. Lint grits his teeth. He wants to quit too, but the Baron is next, and there's no turning back. Belen and Lily's trusting smiles flashed back. Their faith gave him hope, but the pressure was mounting. As their mentor, failure wasn't an option. Sage steps up, demanding why they're hunting his excellency. Lint snaps, enraged by the counter-question, and roars, why is a murderer protecting him? Sage freezes, completely blindsided. He had no answer. God's word was final, and he wasn't a joking. Arms wide, he vows to die for God's glory, calling it humanity's true purpose and claiming the Pope is God's direct voice. He dropped into a stance, vowing to protect God. Talk was over. Lint saw the danger. Kahero was ready to strike. The boy agreed to stick to the plan and stop acting alone. He ordered the push forward, and Kahero silently obeyed. The spirit sneaks up, locking eyes with the boys. Lint realizes the truth. Kirake is being abandoned just like Lily. The boy shouts the signal. Assassinage zips side to side, closing the gap on the hero. Lint parries the ambush and charges a spell. A sudden fireball flares, shocking the elite sage assassin. He sidestepped, barely dodging the spell. Lint charges forward, shouting a spell. The sage senses the shift as the heat cranks up. Calling Lint a baby, the wizard shouts, "This is real magic," as he ignites a massive fireball and blasts it straight at him. The heroes stood frozen, refusing to fight. Sage was stunned. Their total lack of defense made 0 sense. Lint smirks, and a fireball slams the target. A massive explosion rocks the air. Belena and Lily stare in shock at the unyielding flames, unable to process what just happened. Kurjik ambushes the wise killer from behind, flooring him. He gasps, Hard to believe you're actually one of those four. Just before impact, he kicks out and lands right on Lint's scorched body. Tarika spots him, but the assassin instantly bolts and vanishes, retreating. Panicked and hyped, St. Louis and Belina sprint to their master, shouting his name. Belina lifts the wounded Lint, terrified by the fluid leaking from his eyes. But Lily insists she can save him. She asked the traveler for protection. Belina agreed and rushed to the entrance. Lint gasps awake on a soft bed to find the saints Liliana and Belina leaning over him. They ask if he's okay, their faces finally breaking into relieved smiles. Lint's stunned, but Guy's already being pampered by girls in a luxury bed. Belina smiles, they've scored the hotel's best suite. The Guy leaps up, demanding to know where the killer went. Lily smiles as Belina reassures him the killer escaped. Lint facepalms in disappointment. He lost again and must rely on his friends to finish the job. Lily beamed. He never doubted her healing, even with his own confidence. Lint scratched his head in embarrassment and quietly confirmed it was true. The traveler asks if every girl is this special. Lily smiles. Only an elite circle chosen by the Pope wields this power. It's already tough, but I can feel even harder trials ahead. Lint wakes up in shock. Where's his dad? Belina points to the corner where a bound sack sits, trembling and rustling on the floor. A head pops out and Dad gasps, coughing and desperate for air. The self-proclaimed Pope eyes Lily, Lint and Bellini, demanding their names, but the heroes just stare back, completely unfazed. Lint's shocked a saint swearing like that. Lily awkwardly confirms it. Inside a bag, the Pope thrashes and screams, demanding release and promising a brutal punishment. Belena knew he was a player, so she had zero illusions. Lint closed his eyes and smiled, joking that his holiness was just a formality. Stella Lily steps into the light. Dad recognizes her and flinches in shock. Awkward laughter fills the room as he tries to snap her back to reality, shouting that Lily's joke has gone far enough. Furious, the girl blames the Pope's failures for her arrival. He just laughs it off, claiming he's doing his job while thinking she's gone insane. A roar erupts, kicking up dust to reveal Papa knocked out cold. Lily sighs at the overkill, but Belina just shrugs like she barely touched him. Furious, the Pope leapt up, face still smoldering. He screamed that she dared strike God's guide and demanded everyone kneel. Belina slaps him, screams to put his tongue away, and shoves him back. Lint's stunned he didn't even feel her strike, while Belina turns to Lily for backup. Holy Lily agrees to help, closing her eyes to channel her holy healing power. The Pope's scars vanish without a trace. Belina smiles, telling him to stand, but seeing her drives the man to pure madness. Lint steps forward, apologizes for everything, and vows to finally live for real. Belena grabs the bag and bolts, vowing to restore his holiness. The man follows silently, but St. Lily stops her. They need to see the Baron first. A stranger shouts from the crowd, identifying the Dragon Kingdom's Baron, and offering to lead them straight to him. Belena nods and drops Papa with a neck chop. Lily thinks fast. Priority 1, hide him. They strap the bag to the dragon. Belena asks if they were flying to Valento. Everything is ready. Lint smiles, promising the saint his silent company, as Lily finally braves the guild after her long absence. Linton and Lena hop on the dragon. Linton orders Gil to the capital, and the beast roars, ready for takeoff. Lily's holy wings unfold. With a calm smile, she sets off on her journey alone. The heroes soar through the sky. Saint Lily beams, finally living her dream of flight, as Bolina calls her a literal angel. Mountain forests blur as the group races to meet Valento at the capital. They chat non-stop, while deep in the woods, a heavy armored stranger slaughters monsters with a massive axe. He spun around, flipped his visor up, and heard a voice telling him to run. The armored warrior calls him the Sage. This hero killer now kneels, begging for mercy and reporting his father's kidnapping. The armored warrior wondered how to stop this killer. Irritated, he demanded to know who did it. The wise assassin looked up and calmly replied, "They're with the sacred Manon." The armored knight glanced at the merc, hearing enough to let Sage leave. The merc calls him Baron. Time passes in the capital. The market is now a loud, crowded swarm of activity. Cloaked in the crowd, Lint asks if the girls are actually famous. Belena shrugs. The disguises are just to stay safe and avoid trouble. Lint spotted cat ears peeking from her cloak, instantly blowing her cover. Worst disguise ever. She loved the hood and asked Lint if it was bad news. but Belina praised his new look. Blushing, he asked if she was serious, and she confirmed. Lint's stunned by his new cloak, a power-up he never expected. While Lily suspects Valento's hiding more loot, the guildmaster just smiles, claiming he's earning their trust right as Belina finally recognizes him. Hearing he cried, seeing Lily's face cracks her up, and both Lint and Lily grin. Watching Beleno, Lily, and Valento, Lint realized they were a family long before he arrived. Their bond was deep from the start. He smiled, realizing his worries were pointless, and Lily agreed. Lint recalled his goofy face when the crying Pope was dragged in, but Lily snapped that it wasn't funny anymore. Eyes sparkling, Belena grabs the gold and says to forget Valento. It's time to go shopping. Lint cuts her off, scolding her for rambling and overspending, but Lily just laughs it off. Lint, Belena, and Lily hit a cozy restaurant and order a massive feast. But once the waiter leaves, the talk turns to the Dragon Kingdom's devastated lands. Lento wondered who was truly stronger. Rumors put the stranger at S rank, so he needed intel before the clash. Belena grinned at her meal. Holding a bare bone, she announced Lint was prepared. Lint didn't hesitate. He's always ready. Lily tried to remember the Baron, but drew a blank. She'd just have to wing it. She says he wields an unimaginably massive axe. Claiming the Dragon Kingdom's Baron one-shotted the royal dragon with a single blow. Lily warns this dragon is the strongest. After crushing it, the Baron claims leadership of the Dragon Knights and demands its submission. The dying dragon spews fire, but the Baron charges in, axe raised, making his own choice. Dragon heads blast fire, but the Baron's magic armor tanks the heat. The massive blast did nothing. The three-headed dragon took 0 damage. Clad in dragon-proof magic armor, the Baron marches straight through the beast's flames. In the Dragon Kingdom, the legendary Baron charges forward, swinging her massive axe straight at the beast. An armored strike sends the blade flying at the dragon's head. She grips her axe, swinging again for another lethal blow. She raises her axe, spins, and strikes the monster. Dragon heads lunge at the armored woman, but instant flames engulf them, stopping the attack cold. The warrior slays the dragon, stunning Linda. He recovers and asks the hooded girl if a deadlier fight awaits, but she gently tells him to keep the faith. She shoots the boy a smug look, reminding Belena they have a 70% win rate. She asks if Belena's just as confident, and Belena simply nods. Lynn bolts up, demanding answers. He can to buy these insane win odds. Is she really that confident? Belena crossed her arms and listed names, scouting for allies to secure their victory. Her scream pierces the air. Lind won to survive. He tenses up, gripped by sudden dread. Kieru protests the deadly stakes, but Belena interrupts, confidently claiming his survival odds are actually sky-high. Lin cheers Gil can fly and match the beast's strength. So the monster S targeting Kahero next. Belena explains her 70 win rate, convincing the guy he's dead. Linda grabs his head, wondering if Belena should have kept her mouth shut. Belena demands training to prevent another disaster, convincing Lin that strength is his only hope. Lin sighs, accepting this living nightmare. The hooded girl explains that's why she's working for Valento. She hands over new B-class quests, promising a rank is near if he keeps grinding. Blushing, she recalls his words about constant improvement. The team hits the shop, instantly met by the seller S' loud, smiling greeting. Ina next to the Holy Virgin Final Polish. He instantly recognizes Belena standing by the Holy Virgin. Wait, I'll use. He instantly spots Belle. Lily drops her hood and asks if they're intruding. The seller just smiles, assuring her it's no trouble at all. He spots Linda behind Belena and demands to know who that guy is. A familiar face flashes back, realization hits, and his eyes widen in shock. Lin smiles shyly as the seller asks if he's a dragon tamer. The man tenses, wondering if they've met before. Skeptical, the man crosses his arms, apologizes for his rudeness, and introduces himself as a weapons dealer. He grinned, dying to see Linda's true power and thrilled to finally meet her. Lin demands special weapons for the mission, and the man bows, honored to arm the dragon tamer. Shocked money's no object, the dealer gets the hint and leads them inside to check the arsenal. The man offers Lind a light one-handed weapon, recalling their past teamwork. He's spot on. Belena appears behind Lend, demanding the shop's best gear, a weapon that can truly take pride in itself. Smiling, the seller leans in and tells them to wait. He's about to reveal a massive arsenal beyond imagination. The stranger vanishes, leaving them waiting. Moments later, he returns with a rifle, apologizing for the delay. Lind inspects the gear: a light sword, Alexander's heavy blade, a bow with 3 arrows, and a knife. While the seller hypes the quality, Belena wants the weapon, but the seller smiles, warning her it's too massive to carry. Belena assures Linda their special bag fits all the swords, but a scowling man objects, calling them liars. Lind buys every weapon in the shop. The seller promises a fast restock and easy returns if they don't fit. The seller accepts the return, banking on Lind's fame to flip the weapon for a massive profit. Linda grew anxious. This merchant looked like a wealthy noble, laughing. The man raised his hand, claiming trade was his only way to survive. Belena trades 2 swords for 1 blessed weapon. The seller beams, thanking them for the deal. Fingers blur across the abacus as he confirms the shop tracks the weapon for 5 years after the sale. Blana pays up and the seller invites her back, while Linda spots a tool to end her fishing grind. Linda spots a strange object behind the glass. She cuts off the seller's conversation with another customer, asking point blank if it's a weapon. The seller confirms it's a weapon and offers a closer look. The guy nods, just curious. Grabbing a weapon, the man boasts it's a masterpiece by the legendary Alan, but the buyer eyes him with pure doubt. The weapon's unfinished, so the merchant can't gauge its true power yet. The man aims a gun at the visitor, claiming it's just for show and not for sale. The visitor jokes that the grip feels exactly like a sword. The boy inspects the gun, and Lindy's unsettled by how naturally it fits his grip. Belin asks Lin's take on the weapon. Lin hesitates. The handle is weightless and lacks any striking force. It doesn't even look like a real weapon. Lily inspects the strange weapon, wondering if it's a magical artifact. But the seller shrugs. Real magic items are just a myth. He studied the weapon, finding it packed with rare materials, and guarantees the finished product will be a masterpiece. The seller knew the weapon was impossible to finish. Sensing Master Alan's fury, Lin studied the hilt, hanging on every word, until the squad finally left at dusk. Lyndon leads his crew deeper into the forest. Lin finally grabs the unfinished sword, accepting its aid. He didn't want to sell. But expert persuasion flipped his decision instantly. He scans the area to find their location, but freezes in terror as a massive monster looms right in front of him. Belen confronts the dragon bee, Hercules. Lind confirms she knows exactly how to trap it. Lily declares it's training time and challenges Linda to a duel. Sensing the tension, Linda asks if she's actually ready to face the monster right now. Lily checks the rules, no serious injuries for the giant, and he must stay alive. Doubt crept in, but why worry? It's just a rank B monster. This easy win is his ticket to an instant promotion. Lily beams, bragging that Valento's a master chef who always serves up elite dinners. He claims his soul belongs to the Navy, but the doubt is dead. Steeling himself, he steps forward to fight. Lind stared down the beast, certain he could win. By adding Kairos's power to his own, every strike would be lethal. Belina tells Lin to call Kahero freely, not as an assistant. Lin's shocked, but gives it a shot. Hero summons Kahero, and a massive wolf erupts from the shadows. A wolf rushes to nuzzle the boy. He smiles, petting his loyal friend and whispering that everything's fine, but a new task awaits in Kahero. Kajero's mournful wail echoes far and wide. The wolf howls and the monster snaps around, charging its targets. Lindmans puts Kahero in command of the squad. Enraged, Kahero charges the monster. Wolf and beast collide in a brutal clash. Kajero grabs the beast and hurls it aside, slamming it down right next to Lind. Shielding his head, Lint gaped at the monster crashed before him and shouted that Kahero was incredible. Linda strokes the wolf, and her summon suddenly looks invincible. He's confident with Kahero, reaching the goal is a breeze. Kajero's training made him a beast. But he still wondered, was he really that weak? Belina hits the shore, wondering if he's noticed. He turns, shooting her a confused look. Belina smiles, ending the session, but the boy is gripped by doubt. Did the girl lie? What happens to his achievements now? Belina teases Linda again, but Lily appears and he instantly locks onto her. Belena Winkson insists trust is vital, demanding total mutual faith in every relationship. Blushing, Lind asks if it's true. The boy admits he's trying, so Lind finally takes the leap. How does it actually work? Lily blushed and looked away, admitting something was wrong. Post-merger, she wonders how Linda feels. Looking up, he chooses Kahero. His defense hardens as power surges through his body. Lily smiles, eyes shut. Her master sees Kahero as his armor. Lint strokes Kajuro, insisting it's not like that. Lind insists the girl is wrong. Looking Kairos in the eye, he promises that spirit or not, he's still a friend and part of the team. Lily warns the merger fails unless Linda gives her heart to the spirit. Lind hugs Kahero while the puppy wags its tail and pants happily. He agrees, telling Kahero they should try again together. Moments later, Lind saw the monster closing in again, already poised to strike. Hand to chest, Lind pleaded with the spirit. Kajero's shadow looms behind Lint, but Kieriak suddenly lunges at the monster. His strikes are useless, and he's flat out ignoring his teachers. Bielena calms Linda, explaining the beast only attacks those stronger than it. Linda's stunned. What does that even mean? Lin worries the monster won't react, but Belina stays cool. She and Lily are back up, hidden and ready for action. The girl reaches for Lind, shouting a warning, one wrong move and they'll all swarm him. Kerok stops his assault and bolts to Lily praise, and a promised massage leave him beaming with relief. Lily warns Lend only your spirit leads to the truth. She claims this is the only way to truly unite, leaving nothing between them just like a crab and a pig. Lin faces Kajiro and demands a retry. The spirit is back, and he is finally making contact. Lin's hesitation felt like an eternity. He put all his faith in Kahero. He and Kahero screamed as one, their voices merging into a massive, growing roar. Linda summons her flames. Kahero takes orders, and monsters charge. Belena loves the chaos. Monsters lunge, shadows racing across the floor as they swarm Linda in the center. Lentz screams, charging into the fray with Kahero. Lily and Bielena watch their friends in shock, trading frantic questions. Bielena snaps, screaming at Linda to change her ways and stop acting like this. Belena and Lily rush the master, but Lind strikes first, blitzing a monster. Linda slams the beast, triggering a blinding explosion. Time passes, and the flame flickers out. Lind wakes up outdoors to a voice calling him. It's Lily. A hand reaches out, finally touching the barrier hiding the landscape. Lind snaps awake, kneeling before Lily in shock. She calms him, telling him to stay still. Everything's fine. Linda looks around, confused. The girl explains they moved after the battle to this temporary tent Lily bought just yesterday. Yesterday's battle flashes back. Lin lost control, frying his nervous system worse than his body. Asked if she's treating him, Lily confirms she's officially in charge of his recovery now. Belina slips into the tent and asks her friends if they want some meat. He stands up, and she instantly recognizes her old friend smiling. She hands Lindy some meat, knowing he must be starving after everything he's endured. Lind loves the taste, but the second he realizes he caught the prey himself, he spits it out. Belena says another beast killed the monster during a morning of rapid-fire chaos. Picking meat, Belena looks down and asks if he remembers yesterday. He clutches his head, struggling to remember, blushing. He admits he recalls teaming up with Kahero. Since then, everything's spiraled out of control. Linda reaches out, and the spirits flock to him. He laughs, petting them and apologizing for the scare. Lily smiles, seeing even this as a step forward in her training. He rubs his chin and finally agrees. She's right, this is his path to power, and he's all in. Belena cackles, mocking that the boy's sadness only drains his power faster. Linda yells in outrage, refusing to believe it. He locks in and asks again, is it for real? Belena smirks, calmly confirming it's true. Kiryuk just defeated Hercules Lin's losing it, screaming how he could possibly win with just a spirit's help. Stunned, Lin asks the spirit how it got so strong while Kieran draws his blade, slicing the air with sharp, confident strikes. Linda's stunned by the beast. Where did the spirit get that sword? The mystery only deepens. Lin inspects the spirit and looks to Lily. Lily smiles. This is the training she meant, and Curio Yoke helps too. Lily spots Belina's new horns and wings, noting their power scales with their master stronger and more feminine. She calls it a true evolution. Lin stares at Karok, shocked. She picks him up, doubting his power, but Karok lets out a mysterious noise as she tries to decode his message. Lend suggests practice, and Kairoke cheers, throwing its paws up. Deep in the forest, Belena hums over her drawings, while Lily serves coffee and drops the score. Lind has 87 wins. But Kure Yuk leads with 98. Lily gushes over the master while serving Belen tea. Belen agrees, joking about her 16 losses. Beleni watches the rivals clash, knowing their long history and one undeniable fact. Kairuke is getting stronger. Lena's sword clangs through the air as he lunges at Kairuke. The blow lands, but Kyeryuk parries the strike and rockets into the sky. Lind lunges at Kyrgyk through the shifting fog, soaring high before crashing down with a lethal strike. Lind parries, drops to dodge the next strike, and snatches Kyeryuk's sword from the ground. Weapons flash in the boy's hands as he hammers Kyeryuk. Clashing steel and screams fill the air. Morning light hits the forest as Lind gasps for air, exhausted from his clash with Kyeryuk and struggling to gather his strength. Lily praises her friends and tells them to stay still for healing. Lin thanks her, while Kiru just makes weird noises on the ground. Treatment finished, Lily raises her hands and shouts, "It's ready." Kahero licked his lips, laughing off the embarrassment and admitting he felt better. Kurik smiled back. Post-duel, Lint hyped his old blade for staying perfectly balanced and powerful. Swinging the new blade, the boy's speed skyrocketed. Belena watched in awe. No wonder they called this weapon a yatagan. The weapon drops Lind's fire handles anyone. This foe is massive, but with Kajero, they've got the power to win. Lily backs the sword, knowing gear is everything, but Lind doubts it can handle the axe's power. Belena and Lily keep things light, but Linda's miserable, calling their carefreeness disrespectful. Lind can't stop staring at the sword Belena sneaks up as he draws the blade, wondering if it's magical since he still hasn't mastered it. Lind blasts Kahero's fire from his hand, admitting this power is a massive magnet for enemies. Lily examines her hand, realizing she needs to learn more about this power. Flowers bloom from the hilt, shocking. Lily laughs, explaining this blade heals and can even resurrect the dead. Flowers burst from a dead tree, Lind is ecstatic, and Belena shares the miracle. Facing the monster, Lind tells Kajaro to go all out and prove his training paid off. Kajaro lunges, blade in hand, clashing with the monster in a scream. The boy's strike slams the beast. Lin grins, tanking Hercules' raw power. He commands Kajero, and the wolf's energy surges through him. Lind unleashes an earth-shaking blow, screaming as she drives her sword straight into the monster's belly. The beast groans and slams into the dust. Lind raises his sword, finally breathing easy. Pure joy, Kahero and I finally conquered it all. Belaine cheers for the boy's win, Lily screams in awe of her mentor, and Kyeryuk joins the celebration with a roar of joy. Belena rushes to hug him for hitting rank A, leaving a blushing Linda in total shock. Linda and her team stare at the fallen A-rank beast, buzzing with joy. One clean strike to the gut was all it took. Lily recalls the legend of Hercules, a rank A icon, and the story shocks Linda. Lily warns of Hercules' unbreakable armor, godlike strength, and the pure terror he strikes into every foe. She warns only an A rank can face him. Lin finally gets why he accepted, while Lily notes his massive effort. Belena pumps her fist, hyped to clear every task and hit rank S, but a nervous Lin knows they're way out of their league. He reaches for his pouch, stunned, a whole giant fits inside. Magic bags are insane. Lin points forward. Follow Jill's lead. The Baroness is coming, and there's no time to waste. Belena says Lily already knows. Lily smiles, suggesting they head to Framble. Linda questioned the motive behind their trip to Frambler, his hometown. Book of Stars memories flash back. Is this why she's in Framble? Belena smiles, confirming it's one of the reasons. But there's more. Lily warns Lindy to head back and guard her base to recover. The girls swarm and snuggle. A blushing Lily demands a shared bath, and Belena smirks, they'll need a bigger bed. Lily smirks as Alina boldly licks his cheek. Lind blushes, grinning, but realizes he needs a private base fast. A strange sound alerts the lizards. Terrified, they dive into a hollow tree as a massive dragon soars overhead. Heading to Framble, the team's hyped to see Lin's home, even if it's a half-ruined wreck. The squad hits the ruins. The girls freeze, eyes wide in shock. Balluna's shocked, this is their teacher's house, while Lily laughs at Linda's chaotic past. Embarrassed, he admits this is exactly why he hid his home after opening up to them. Lin crosses his arms and looks away. This house is enough to wait out the rain. It's modest for a Tamer, but he's not complaining. Belena notices the house is isolated. Linda shrugs. It's how they stay hidden from pursuers. Lily asks about his family, but Lind brushes her off. He's been an adventurer since childhood and remembers nothing else. Lin smiled at Karyuk's words, sensing a kindred spirit forged through countless trials. They shared every scrap of meat bought with their last cents. Cureac's fur kept the boy warm on freezing nights, and for Lind, this home was his only true sanctuary. Belina sensed Linda's worry and smiled. Reassuring her, Linda leaned in, whispering, "Maybe an exception tonight." Linda turns beet red, gaping in shock. Lily shoots him a look, declaring they're cleaning the house together as she confidently rolls up her sleeves. Lindemann gets the hint about her innocence and saves the rest for the hotel. Belen and Lynn stare as Lily clasps her hands in prayer. The boy finally hears her trembling chant. She's standing still, casting a spell. The ground trembles as chunks of soil lift into the air. Lynn shields his face in panic as the ground vanishes. Kyriok soars upward, and Lynn charges after him, screaming for answers. Massive stems erupt from the earth, hoisting stone slabs and linden trees skyward. The massive stems suddenly morph. Massive spikes erupt from the ground, swallowing the squad like a wave. Stems crumble as a massive castle erupts from the ruins. Lind stares in shock, while Balana gazes at the sky, high towers. Lim stares in shock. Is this really a castle? Belena laughs, hands behind her head. Tame monsters, live in a mansion. That's the rule. Lily explains she used restoration magic, hoping he likes the result. Lily laughed, agreeing their mentor would be a legend. Shyly, the boy asked if he could ever reach that level. Lily blushes, hyped that their team will grow massive and need a giant headquarters. Malena blushes, hoping more girls join soon, while a shy Lint chuckles and asks what she meant. Belena spots a Gil soaring toward them, likely waking up from the nearby forest. Lily thinks Gil spotted the house on the horizon as Belena waves to grab his focus. The dragon spots the squad and charges. The branch touches down by the castle and the squad rushes over. Lily brags about the dragon's bed to an awestruck Lin, while Belena pushes to head inside. The squad enters the castle. Lin's mesmerized by the ceiling. Belena shadows down the banister, and Lily heads upstairs with Lind. Lin stared at the massive castle in shock. Lily explained the rooms, promising furniture would spawn soon, as Belena led the group to the bedroom. Linda's floored by the massive, spotless room. Belena adapts instantly, joking they should ditch the housekeeper. The girls dive into the soft bed with room for everyone, while a blushing Lind looks away. The man grabs Lily, laughing as Belena begs him to stop. Lily urges Linda forward, but she spots a hidden room and wonders what's inside. They hit the bathroom, where Belena points out the glass walls. Everything's on display. She winks at Lily, who smiles and tells her to show the host the full view. The girl strips and presses against the glass. Lily feels awkward, but the guy is floored. His face turns beet red as he erupts into a massive nosebleed. Belena scoops Lilia up, calling it her special intro ritual. Lilia blushes hard, awkwardly begging her to stop. She warns him not to make it awkward, but Blaine thinks Lindy might actually like the view. Lily yanked her hand back, face flushing as she looked away and quickly denied everything. Belena calls Lena over as Lily yells. Lena stares, blushing in admiration, until Belena invites her in. Without a second thought, Lena strips and hops into the bath. Lymph dives into Belena's arms, laughing wildly. Lily stands and gently snuggles Linda. Girls sandwich Lynn in a tight hug, while the boy freezes and screams. Belena hates the heat, but Lily clings to her master, confessing she wants to be even closer. Belena tells Lily to swap places, making the guy turn beet red. Linda gasps as the girls swap places and close in. Lily looks up, smiles at Linda, and asks for a favor. He hears her and acts instantly. Pain rips through Lily's gut. She screams, Lintz looming silently behind. Lily covered her mouth, wondering where that strange sound came from. Her voice echoes, shouting she's never felt this good. Lane leans in to fire back, and Luli screams at the top of her lungs again. Lily crawls away in terror. Belena suddenly kisses Lind, but he fights to push her off. Belena lay back submissively, giving Lynn total control. Eyes lock, and the boy turns bright red. Berlin promised it was over time to finally breathe. The girl speaks as Lynn creeps right in front of her. Suddenly, Belena starts making a scene. Belen eyes Lily and asks her plans. Lily just smirks and licks her lips. Belena begs Lily to look away, but Lily notes even S-rank heroes have weaknesses. Belena smiles, reminding her she already knows. Blaine's scream shatters the silence, echoing everywhere. Lily appears and pulls the girl into a crushing hug. Lily blushes hard and lets out a shocked scream. Lily steps up and asks Belina what she's doing. Selena ignores the pleas to stop, driving a fed-up Lily to scream again. Lily, Bellini, and Lynn let out a simultaneous, frenzied scream. Later, Linda hits the shower. Belena and Lily stand by as he brushes off dirt, insisting it's their duty and telling their master not to worry. The castle is dead silent at dawn until loud snoring echoes from the bedroom. Linda sprawls on the bed beside Belina and Lily. Len spots Lily, instantly blushing as his eyes widen in shock. Squinting through the exhaustion of a wild night, he watches her sleep, oblivious to his racing thoughts. Len hovered his finger over Lily, admiring her innocent sleeping face. Recalling the girl's shy behavior last night, he blushes and cracks a small smile. Lind turns and spots Bielana. He wonders why Belina sleeps in such a weird pose. The girl opens wide and lunges at the boy. Lind begs her to stop. Belena serves a forest egg for a big breakfast, while Lily jokes their protein is finally restocked. Lind enters with a saucer and jug, grinning. He only found eggs, Hercules meat, and wild greens, nothing fancy today. Lily springs up, telling Lind to handle dinner. Lind tells her not to worry. He loves to cook. Lind's food daydreams snap as Belina glares and Lily offers surprise support. Lily wipes her mouth and admits the truth. This estate is way too big to manage alone. They need help fast. Time to hire some cooks and servants. Belena kicks back and smirks. Without servants, this castle isn't a true fortress. Belina stands, hand out. They want to be back often, so someone must keep order. Lynn nods. Lily suggests a gardener for Linda's dream garden, but fears she's being played. Belinda side-eyes, Linda finger raised, joking she'll find the guy a landlord if he needs one. Linda wonders who'd dare come this far, but Belaine just smirks. The reward is everything. Belina hops on her chair, hyped for the talk. Lynn smiles once the Baron's handled. They're moving on. Trekking through the thick woods, Lynn stays extra protective. Belina's all smiles, while Lily keeps flexing her elite guild rank and achievements. Belina mocks Lily's slow pace, hitting a nerve until Lind steps in, promising they'll rest soon. Belina slices a branch away and questions the detour. Lynn knows there's no good prey or other adventurers here, only worthless herbs. Belina smiles, fully backing Lynn's cautious strategy as the ultimate survival move. Lynn closes her eyes and thanks her for the intel. Belima scans the void but finds nothing. Lily shrugs, asking what she even expected to see. Belina's itching for a fight, but Lily laughs, joking that no one's brave enough to challenge her. Something stirs in the bushes. Belina tenses, signals Lily, and they scan for the intruder. Lind spots a cave invisible to everyone else. Is it Book of Stars magic or weird tech? Linda's thoughts haunt him. Why can only he see her? Lily's theory resonance. Linda asks about resonance. Lily explains it's about compatibility. The Book of Stars chooses who unlocks its secrets. Starbook secret cracked. The heroes find the cave, and Lily lights her torch to push everyone forward. Lily's magic blinds Lind with a sudden flash as Bella catches a wild animalistic stench. Lily approaches, smiling as she admits she doesn't always sniff things in public before bursting into laughter. Belena blushes, stunned that Lily's right. She realizes she acted on pure instinct without even thinking. Lily asks if she only acts this way with people she trusts. Belena smirks, admitting she's just reckless. Mysterious symbols appear on the wall. Linda asks Lily to decode them, but a deep dark stain catches her eye first. Linda reaches out and finds blood. Where did it come from? Stunned, the hero shouts as Lily deciphers the wall. It reveals the starbooks, count and purpose for everyone. Lynn's hyped, calling the info incredible. Belina's hyped fists pumped. She starts firing off questions. Lily sighs, noting the truth is buried in blood. She admits she has no answers, but demands they keep moving. The squad pushes ahead. Lynn confirms they've finally reached the room. It's way brighter than last time, revealing a mountain of papers that leaves Lynn stunned. He starts scooping up the scattered sheets, telling the group to gather everything first before they start analyzing the find. The team gathers ancient documents, but a girl's drawing catches their eye. Lynn warns the girls to watch for a mysterious paper and stay alert, leaving Belena and Lily completely baffled. As the sun dips behind the castle, the team studies the starbook pages while Lily brews tea. Belena sprints to Linda, brandishing a strange, exploding fruit. She's thrilled this volatile discovery is the perfect new ingredient for her kitchen adventures. Lynn ducks behind a chair, but Blaine laughs the fruit's already neutralized. Blaine winks, admitting they're just bad memories and that Lynn always doubts her cooking. Belina tosses an explosive fruit and shreds it mid-air with her bare hands. The slices land perfectly on Linda's plate, leaving her in total shock. He's stunned. He's never seen thickness or cuts this perfect. It's flawless. Lily brings tea and spots, Belena's expert cutting. Belena smirks, but Lily shuts it down. That wasn't a compliment. Fruit tasted and notes read. Lynn admits he knew most of it, but found new training methods. Lynn realizes self-knowledge is just a list of limits. Is that it? The books say she must tame every opponent. Lynn asks them to read, but Belena sadly admits she and Lily don't know how. Linda asks why he says both girls deserve star quotes, and Lily smiles, agreeing Linda is right. Belen has the warrior book, she has the healers, but neither can read the others. Belena says, "Watch this." She pulls a fighter book from her bag and hands it over. Lynn tries to read, but the words are a mystery. Shocked, the boy admits he can't understand it either. Lily thinks only the chosen can read this book. The truth is beyond human reach. Lily reveals the Master's arrival wasn't luck. It's fate tied to the Book of Stars, forcing Lynn to question his true destiny. Lynn's devastated by his lost pages, while Belena voices her growing doubts. Lynn finds traces of a past visitor in the cave. Belena bolts upright, eyes wide, swearing she saw nothing. Lanus swears Lynn's incredible. The man turns and smiles, knowing those books are long gone. Lily tells Lynn to rest after the mission, but he doubts his friends will let him. Lily strips, proving her words are true. A massive fleet hits the capital as a man strides into the central guild, announcing the investigation is finally over. Guild leader Volento spun around and scanned the report. Volento reads that monster spawns in the eastern forest's western triangle have plummeted. He felt it instantly. A massive power was close. The Dragon Knight commander's image haunted Volento's mind. He's sure the team can handle it, especially Lynn, who's leveled up thanks to the girl's support. Volento wanted Lynn back stronger, certain he'd evolve way past S rank. Lily wants to nail down the mission tasks first. Lily reads the note. The Ant Queen delayed the gemstone. She declares this the Taming Trial S site, but Linda worries he can handle it. Lily warns these ants are lethal, while Linda eyes the swarm, doubting they can tame them all. Lily warns if Lynn fails, they're ant food. Lynn blames Bella for wrecking the anthill, but Bella just laughs, joking she couldn't hold back. Lynn steps forward, reaching out to win the ants' trust. Swarmed by ants, Lynn realizes their hive mind makes them impossible to beat. Told to protect the group and stay away from the queen, the boy listened. Eleanor Linterpip's strike hit home. The boy's shocked as the ants' rage vanishes. Belena smiles, stunned, wondering how this is even possible. Knowing the ants are smart, Lynn targets the queen to get the red ball. A massive queen ant suddenly bursts out, the biggest they've ever seen. Eyes sparkling, the queen hands Lynn a red ball. He smiles and thanks her, leaving her tilted in surprise. Lynn outsmarted the ant queen to snag a rare rainbow gem, leaving the entire squad hyped with pride. Trapped by fiery desert heat, Belena's finished until a sudden oasis saves her, its icy water reviving her scorched body. Belena laughs. The fire ants already spotted them. Lily's sure these creatures won't dare show their faces. Lily wonders if an audience would make this even more interesting. Girls swarm him for cuddles, but he awkwardly shuts it down, admitting he's uncomfortable. The girl lunges at him, making him scream. Lily and Belena smile, assuring Linda that sticking together benefits everyone. Lint turns bright red and lets out a scream. A sudden gust throws the lens off, killing their flow. Lily reacts fast, demanding they check the task. It was their request, after all. The mission: deliver an Ice Wolf plush. The girl beams, accepting the gift with pure joy. He sees girls in cozy clothes and snaps, screaming in pure outrage. Belena sees the observers bundled up, standing still, lets the frost bite deep. Lily agrees, saying this cold isn't for women. Belene confidently tells the boy to warm up, while Lynn laughs nervously, feeling the hype. Linda sheds her cloak and transforms, eyes burning with resolve. She knows the stakes. This is a real fight with special rules. He pictured Jill the fire dragon, knowing those flames wouldn't survive this freezing cold. He looked at Kier Yukin, who stood frozen and unable to move. He shouts the spirit's name. Energy explodes, and Kahero appears right behind him. Lind realizes he must kill the beast to tame it. As the wind freezes, Kacheros, a pack of ice wolves, strikes, sparking total panic. Snarling wolves charge the group. Lind panics if his familiar hits its limit. He's stuck fighting with nothing but his bare hands. Lind lunges at the wolves and takes a hit. She holds back her power on Beelan's advice, keeping the bodies intact for taxidermy. He lunges, hammering the wolves with rapid strikes. They're too slow to even dodge. Belina nitpicks Lin's work, but Lily's stunned by his flawless skill. The cold's drained Lin, but his firewolf energy is still massive. Lily warns him unleashing it now is a luxury he can't afford. Lily explains their mentor's restraint. Too much force would have sent everything spiraling out of control. Lily smiles confidently. Master power, and you can channel even more energy into the spiritual realm. The wolf slams down right at the forest's edge. Furious he ruined the wolf's head, the boy tosses his swords and readies his fists. Belina screams in shock. He's fighting unarmed. A wolf lunges, but Lind shouts back, he's only just getting started. The boy's fist slams the wolf's head, blasting the beast backward before it can even react. Monster down, Linda lifts the wolf. Belina rushes in, cheering that the beast is safe and praising the hero's restraint. Belina and Lily admire Linda's Kairos mastery, but a new monster wave is already closing in. Lily saw Lind was ready for Hercules, armed with fire ant cards, while Kairos flexed absolute power and control. Lily grins, praising the master's massive power up and assuring him he's got this. They finally had the strength to defy the Baron. Lind straightens his cloak, voice full of confidence he's equal to the Dragon Army commander. Hood up, Lin hears Belena's winning easily. Her next target, the Baron. A sudden gust blasts, snapping his head back. Linda huddles with Lily to stay warm, prompting Belina to tease them about their cozy bond. By dusk, the squad is already heading back to the castle. Linda kisses Belina as Lily presses against his back. A touch to her back sends her screaming. But Lind keeps kissing Lena. Lily approaches Linda and sincerely tells him he's lonely. He stayed up all night, surrounded by girls. Lin grinds his physical strength, prepping for the showdown with the Dragon Knights. Hours later, the Baron enters the forest, still fixated on the dragon-slaying rancor and the Pope's holy maiden. He slowly gears up for battle. The servant reports a crisis. The Pope's been taken hostage. The armored warrior vows to fix this, promising the Pope and Holy Virgin will make perfect souvenirs. To prep for the Baron, the squad snatches the Pope. The forest goes dead silent as the world's strongest prepare for war. Belen panics as the enemy charges at insane speeds. Lily's stunned she even saw them coming. Belen hums a melody, explaining she chose this open field for the fight. It might still be too small, but it beats being cramped. Lind tells Gil to step back, warning him their enemy is a legendary dragon hunter. This spells trouble. Gil smiles and gestures that he's fine. He's down for strict treatment and suggests they head home. Belena signals ahead. The enemy is close. A flash erupts. Lena spots the incoming shockwave and instantly orders Kahero to move. A shield flashes out, instantly tanking the hit for the whole squad. Lind cursed in shock. What the hell was that? A sudden strike with zero warning or greeting. Lily warns the master the Baron is a snake who fights dirty, using sneak attacks and magic poison to win. Lily saw the Baron unleash dark magic without hesitation, her face turning dead serious. Lin smirks, realizing this fight is way tougher than he expected. Belena points out the charred Pope. Lily admits she totally forgot him and starts healing. Lin spots a massive powerhouse who rumbles, asking if he's the one she's looking for. Axe in hand, the Baron confronts Lind, shouting that he cleared the forest for all C ranks to hear, while a stunned Lind stares back, paralyzed. He's dying to solve the black armor's mystery. Wrapped in a dark halo, its power is infinite. He spots the legendary axe. Can he survive an opponent wielding that? Lin realized rumors aren't reality, but he knew the truth talk is cheap and victory must be earned. A servant arrives to help, but the Baron cuts the talk short to greet Lily. The Baron instantly recognizes the Holy Virgin. He freezes, bows, drops his axe, and removes his helmet. Baron apologizes and greets her. Lind stares under the helmet is a girl. He blushes and laughs awkwardly, searching her eyes for answers. Her gaze met Lind's, stunning him even more. Lind ignores Beelan's taunts, locking onto the veteran enemy and respecting his lethal skill. Explosions rock the forest as a dragon hunter and tamer clash in the clearing. The Baron gasps. She raises her axe, ready for the final blow. Lind raised his sword and roared with Kahero, joining the collective cry. Lena's blade slams into the Baron's axe. Linden's duel with the Baron kicks up a dust storm, forcing Belena and Lily to take cover. Belena's stunned as Lind cleaves the Baron's massive axe, while Lily notes that Kiaruk's training clearly paid off. The Baron sighs, noting the kid's skill, but she disarms him in a flash, proving he's still miles below her level. Lind slips, his sword shatters, and he's left wide open. The Baron swings his axe, declaring it's over, as Lind desperately screams for Kahero. The Baron strikes hard, but Lind slips behind him. Belena smiles. He's mastered Kajuro's power. Belena and Lily shrugged off the insults, hyping their master's power and enraging the Baron. Lillian's eyes burn with rage at the Baron's lies, but revenge can wait. Lind is already charging back in with his heavy sword. Swinging his heavy axe, the Baron asks why even switch weapons. The strike flies with a sharp warning to know their place, but Lind blocks it just in time. The Baron's strike sends a shockwave, and the boy struggles to stay on his feet. The Baron laughs wildly, while the girl mocks the boy's weakness. The Baron swings, Lind blocks, but the girl suddenly shoves the boy, sending him flying back. Sighing, the boy stands and eyes his shattered sword. A shard clangs down, and Lind collapses backward. The Baron mocks Linda, asking if she really thought her weapon could stop his axe. Baron swings his axe, mocking the cocky rookie, while his rival steps up to erase him for good. The Baron's magic surges, flooding the area with power. Linda knows she's dead if she doesn't act. With a roar, the Baron strikes, vowing to blast her soul into the sky. Light pierces the dark. Through the dust, the Baron celebrates her win over Lind until pure shock hits her face. Linda's safe, but the relief is short-lived. Kiaruk appears, sword drawn and ready for battle. The Baron screams. Swinging his axe and firing lightning at the spirit, Kira dodges every blow, deflecting the bolts with her sword. The Baroness is stunned. The spirit is mocking her, even dodging its own lightning bolts. Reeling from the hit, she's stunned by the tiny spirit's massive power. Linda leans in to apologize, explaining he used a tamer's combat style. He smirked, bragging his assistants were absolute powerhouses. Shocked by the Baron's size, he doubts Lind is a real dragon tamer. She asks if he's heard her nickname Dragon Slayer. Lind suspects it's more than just a title. The Baron grins. There's more. She warns, you're facing a true powerhouse. Flames swallow her as she smirks, hoisting her axe. Witness the Baron is true power, she shouts as the earth erupts. Attacks swarm him, and as an icy chill hits, Lind realizes this is the dark magic Lily warned him about. A massive beast erupts before the boy, claws reaching and jaws wide. Lind reached into his magic bag, eyes blazing. Only power beats power, and today he's pushing his firepower to the limit. The sword hilt leaps into Linda's hands, choosing her. He could never control this artifact until now. With his new strength, Linya finally seizes this chance. Lind summons his Kahero, aims at the Baron, and unleashes a massive strike, his secret technique. Axe swinging, the Baron lunges with a roar as Lind leaps to counter. They collide, sparking a massive blast. Belena's jaw drops, shouting they need to move. But Lily suddenly clutches her head. Dad's still hanging from the tree. Lind and Baron's collision sends a shockwave through the forest as the servant hides behind a tree. Belena shouts for Lind to look up. Surprised, he glances at the sky and spots a mysterious shimmering light. The enraged Baron screams it's over, swinging wildly, but Lind signals Kuriyuku to take flight instantly. Kiruk parries every blow, infuriating the Night Barons. She spots a new threat, but with no time to dodge, Kiruk lunges straight for her again. The Baron's eyes bulge. She hides behind her hands, shielding herself from their stares. Lind's strike shatters the Baron's armor, leaving him disoriented and reeling in pure agony. Her armor cracks and shatters. Lind froze in shock, eyes locked on her exposed skin. His palm slams the ground, fighting to stop an invisible force. She whips around, glares at the boy, and unloads every bitter thought she has. Flustered, the Baroness covers up and orders everyone to look away. Lily blushes, exactly the reaction she expected. Belina smiles, backing her up. Lin forces a smile, insisting it's just a coincidence. Belina smirks, telling him to watch his mouth before asking if he likes that girl, though she bets the Baroness is more his style. Victory shines in her eyes, her tanned skin and lips are striking, and Belina knows Linda is hooked. Lily catches Lin's body reacting to them both, leaving him blushing and in total denial. The Baron signals for silence, eyes burning with rage. How dare they mock her? She won't forgive this insolence. The Baron shouts the fight isn't over, demanding the dragon Tamer face her in a final duel. Belina grins, wondering if the girl minds being naked, while Baron turns beet red. Fists clenched, the Baron endures Belin's mockery for fighting without armor. Teeth grit and dripping sweat, the Baroness grabs her axe. She's not backing down. Instead of swinging her axe, the girl drops in front of a terrified Linda, but she isn't attacking. She falls to her knees and bows. The Baroness broke down in shame, sobbing that she couldn't take it anymore, while repeating the same words like a broken record. Lin smiles and asks what's wrong. Telling the girl not to worry, reaching out, she insists the shattered armor was just a total coincidence. Lend tells the Baron the armor damage was an accident, but he senses a trap. Her surrender was a lie. She's hiding a sudden counterattack. The Baron's strike freezes. A mysterious girl appears out of nowhere, blocking the hit and saving Lin stunned. The hero backs away in total disbelief. Sweating with excitement, Belina stomps the girl's hand, crosses her arms and grins at the Baron. Belina slams Linda for dropping his guard and warns him to stay sharp, but he just stares back, completely lost. Belina smiles as Lily slams the Baron's lack of principles, while an embarrassed Linda nervously pulls his hair. Belina's already plotting her master's punishment, but first she's deciding the fate of the Baron pinned under her boot. The Baron curses from the dirt as she screams, begging them to finish her off and end the torture.